Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Monday, Stiles and Watkins, only Stiles today. Chris Watkins is enjoying his time, I would hope, in Las Vegas after watching that barn burner of a game with the Raiders and the Vikings. I mean, I'm happy for Chris that the Vikings won, and at least it's not a long trip. You know, a lot of those Viking fans out there, either from Minnesota or from somewhere else, so came a long ways, and at least they saw a W because that was a terrible game. I had the multi-view going on the TV just because, but I mean, even the sound of that game sounded boring. I had to keep on turning up the volume when I went to that specific game because I thought something was wrong with the audio, but it was just how boring that game was. So shout out to Chris. Hopefully he's enjoying his time out there. And at least you walked away with a W. It wasn't the most exciting game, but you got a W. Dobbs gets benched, right? So you see Nick Mullins come in, another product of the Shanahan system, since we're going to go there with Brock Purdy a little bit later. So yeah, good for the Vikings, and the Raiders are in a very familiar place where they are not bad enough to get a top pick, maybe if they continue to lose, possibly, but not good enough to make the playoffs or do anything that would make the fans want to be excited. So that is a familiar place for the Raiders, and the Vikings are continuing to just hang around. So shout out to the Vikings, shout out to Chris Watkins. He will be back tomorrow. We have plenty to get to today as we talk about the Eagles, whether or not they are cooked. The Niners taking care of the Seahawks. The Lakers win the in-season tournament, and people had a lot to say about how the Lakers celebrated and LeBron popping the little mini bottles of champagne that you get on an airplane, right? I think a lot of that is just people hating on LeBron. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do in that situation. You win the in-season tournament. There are bottles of champagne there. Are you just supposed to, okay, can I get a glass, right? I just want to drink these with class because this isn't, or he just sits there and doesn't open the champagne, right, and says, we're waiting for the real thing. So I think a lot of that is just people like to hate. And speaking of hate, as I alluded to in the crossover, the crosstalk with Jason Ross and Carmichael Dave, we'll talk about the Brock Purdy hate. And my thought process on it, not to give too much away, is that maybe, just maybe, Niner fans are overblowing it just a little bit. Can you really have a lot of hate when Vegas has you as a top 2 favorite to win the MVP? Really? I mean, the only reason he's not number 1 is because the Cowboys and Dak Prescott just beat the Eagles, which is what Brock did last week. And if the Niners win out and the Eagles and the Cowboys do not win out, Brock Purdy is going to win MVP. But you go on social media and you let them tell it, and you would think that Brock Purdy is still 10th in MVP voting. I think Niner fans, and look, I know the Nick Wrights of the world, the Steven Ruizes of the world. I'm guilty of it. We've talked about them on this show. But it gets to a point where you literally, quite literally, had to wait not even 2 full seasons for your guy to go from mystery relevant to being the MVP frontrunner or second place to Dak Prescott, who, by the way, they're going to lose again. The Cowboys are going to lose. They still have a gauntlet. I believe they still have the Dolphins and they still have the Bills. I cannot see the Cowboys winning out. Meanwhile, if the Niners are able to beat the Ravens, you got the Cardinals first, but if you're able to beat the Cardinals, beat the Ravens, and you win out, Brock Purdy's going to win MVP. So I get it. There are always going to be people that disrespect your guy. But that is not a Brock Purdy thing. That's a every sport and every premium position type of thing. Okay? Let Tom Brady tell it. Let Patrick Mahomes tell it. People out here still say Patrick Mahomes, product of Andy Reid. What is he going to do without Tyreek Hill? The guy that Brock is going to play on Christmas, Lamar Jackson. He's still got haters, and he has an MVP. Mahomes has too. So I do think, not to get too much into it right now, I do think that Niner fans are to the point where you are looking for something that is unattainable. And maybe it's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to take that underdog approach, and every time Brock lets go of a big pass, look at this. You said he couldn't do this. When Vegas, where do you think Vegas is getting those ideas from to have him top 3, top 2, number 1 in MVP favorites? They're not just pulling it out of thin air. Okay, they know what the writers think. Nick Wright doesn't have an NFL MVP vote. I don't believe Colin Cowherd does either. But part of it, I believe, is fun to fans. It's fun to fans, all right? So we're going to get into that. Shohei Ohtani, even though I don't want to talk about it, signs with the Dodgers $700 million over the next 10 years. The number, all of a sudden, if you're a Giants fan, oh my goodness, is too high. Can you stop? Can we stop with that? Okay? I just can't stand when people carry water for a team and change narratives. When Shohei was on the market, how many Giants fans and Giants media said, give him a blank check? Even with, you thought maybe he'd be a little bit cheaper because of the Tommy John, but give him a blank check. Now all of a sudden that the Dodgers got, oh my goodness, I wouldn't have paid for that. Just stop. If you found out that Farhan offered him $800 million and he decided to go to the Dodgers, you wouldn't say, oh, that's too much. You would have said, hey, good on Farhan for putting that money forward. Too bad he didn't take it. And we don't know. Maybe he did. But now all of a sudden, because the Dodgers got him, well, I didn't want to pay. Okay, so now what? Go back to arbitration. That's what the Giants like to do. So we're going to talk about the Giants not getting Shohei and the Dodgers getting him, and what's next for the Giants. And, of course, we're going to talk Kings because they got the Nets tonight. The Nets, a team, you talk about a league pass team. I don't think a lot of us have seen a lot of Nets action. Obviously, they got Mikal Bridges, and they got some guys that can do some things. The Nets are starting their West Coast run. I believe they play the Warriors as well. So we will break down that game. We got the dog segment at 1:30, and I want to hear from you, 916-339-1140. The phones are open all day. I'm in here. I got Chris Verlot in here for a little bit. Simone's going to come in a little later. So I'm taking, if you ever thought about calling in, but Alan, you talk too much, and then you throw over to Chris, and there's not any time. Today is your day to call in, and let's have a conversation. The text line is open as well. I'm reading everything. I'm reacting to everything. You got 4 hours. Just Alan Stiles. Chris Watkins will be back tomorrow. We can't wait to have him and hear about his experience in Vegas, at least what's allowed to say on air. At 11, we have Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider, and we got not one but 2 segments with Emil, so it's very nice of him to join us. We're talking Niners, and maybe I'll throw my Brock Purdy take to Emil, see how he's feeling. And then at 1 o'clock, we have Jeff Young, editor for Around the Foghorn. He will be joining us to talk Giants as well. So, yeah, Chris Verlot, give me a breather here. How are you doing?
Doing good. It's a long weekend.
It was, right? And we talked a little bit about it. By the way, if you came out for the Santa Parade in downtown, thank you for showing up and showing out. Chris, what side were we on? Because you may not have heard me and Chris. We had Mix 96 on one side of the parade. We were at the beginning. So if you were towards the beginning of the parade, you probably saw Chris and myself getting down.
Yeah, we were at the in-street side. So in 12th, like right where everything was happening.
There you go. And it was a great time, right?
Yeah,
Who was your favorite float?
I like the car. I did like the car club that came through.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Ghostbusters and the
Ghostbusters. That was
Jurassic
legit.
Park.
That was legit.
Like a bunch of things. Jurassic Park, Pixar.
Right, they had Pixar, which, so Chris and I, we were going off of what we were being told, or we had a sheet, right? But hey, it's live. It's a live event. Things can happen. So,
there's that wild pirate ship.
The pirate ship that was one of the best floats. I was literally just trying to say through the mic, guys, this is a ridiculous float right here. Like, this could win awards.
With working cannons.
Right, with working cannons. So it was a great time. Anybody that came out, I hope you stayed warm because it was chilly. I thought that the weather would break at some point. It did not, but at least there was no wind. I can't complain too much. At least there was no wind.
There was that slight little breeze that was just like cutting through you.
Yeah, just don't need it. Don't need it. Okay, so that was a good time. Caesar 916 on the YouTube chat, our SAC chat, saying Giants need to open that checkbook, stop being cheap, and cash out for talent. I want to know And then after Ohtani signs, word on the street, and we're hearing from MLB media writers, the Giants weren't even finalists. So this idea that, Giants fans just can't really catch a break. When the Giants are up number one, number two, right, to get these top free agents, it doesn't happen. Then in this situation, they weren't there. We heard Cubs, we heard Dodgers, we heard Blue Jays. We thought, maybe the Giants are working in the background. Turns out they weren't. So we will get into Shohei Ohtani. We will get into the Lakers winning the in-season tournament. We will get into the Kings taking on the Nets at home. Hopefully we get a Monday beam. And we will get into the Niners, not just Brock Purdy, but what that team did to the Seahawks, or as I call them, the Sea Chickens. It's Stiles and Watkins. Just Stiles tonight. Just Stiles today. Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for Chrysler's Wrap Up the Year sales event?
This month, you can save up to $16,500 off MSRP on 2023 Ram 1500 Crew Cabs. With over 600 new Ram trucks available, your perfect new truck is waiting for you at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Plus, no payments for 90 days.
And what about those brand new Dodge Hornets everyone's talking about?
This month, you can lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT plug-in hybrid for only $199 a month for 27 months. That's over $5,500 in total savings.
Now is the best time to get the vehicle you need at Hoblet. Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. Period. $16,500 total net savings after 10-261 factory rebates and 6-239 dealer discount. Sample VIN 699991. Rebates include 1,000 case equipment cash unless you purchase qualifying case equipment from authorized dealer and 500 first responder cash for members of the eligible First Responder Association only. No payment for 90 days on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. $5,500 total net savings after 2,000 factory rebates and 3,500 dealer discount. 27-month lease with 3,995 due at signing plus tax and license fees on approved.
Sactown Sports taking you up to 2 p.m. Just Stiles today, as Chris Watkins is enjoying a vacation, a much-earned vacation. That guy, he works so darn hard. Not only does he do this show, but he's also got you for Kings postgame on YouTube. So good on Chris for getting out there. And that's just a quick note to everybody, right? I saw this. A lot of you, you're still getting to know me. And look, I got a lot of talking to do today, so you should know me a little bit better. A lot of people, I read something that said, I came from the tech world, and I read something that said, in the tech world, a lot of places have unlimited PTO. And I read something that said, and some places don't, or a lot of places don't. And I read something that said, if you actually look at the numbers for people that take PTO, for those who have quote unquote unlimited PTO versus those that have an allotted period of time, they're actually pretty close. And why is that? That's because people, and I think it's just society, specifically America, the United States of America, they are afraid to take vacations. They are afraid to enjoy themselves. There's just such a fear of somebody's going to take my spot, and somebody is going to make me look like I can be replaced. So go out there and enjoy yourself, okay? Life is too short. We've seen so many things happen over the past couple of years where there are layoffs and this happens and that happens. When somebody's getting ready to lay you off, you think that they look and they say, well, this person didn't take as much vacation as the other person, so let's keep them instead. No, Okay, they're looking at the numbers. So go out there, and if you feel like enjoying yourself, go out there and enjoy yourself. And if you do have a certain amount of vacation hours, I know a lot of times they roll over, make sure you use them. Okay, that's just a little TED talk from me, but I had to say it because I think that it happens way too often where people don't think enough about themselves, and you blink and you didn't enjoy yourself. So go out there and treat yourself, all right? And Chris Watkins will be back tomorrow, and we will be breaking down whatever happens with Kings Nets. As this, I'm not going to say this is a must win, but I will say we'll go over the schedule, that the mini gauntlet is coming. The gauntlet for the Niners is over. The mini gauntlet for the Kings is coming, as they have a back-to-back, and they have 3 games within 4 days where they take on the Suns, who I believe Kevin Durant should be back by then. You have Kevin Durant and the Suns, and Bradley Beal, I believe, is coming back this week to the Suns. So you have the Suns, you have the Celtics, and you have the Timberwolves. So that's going to be a rough stretch for the Celtics might be first, but either way, they play all 3 of those teams within 4 days. So that's going to be a tough stretch, which turns games against the Nets, no disrespect whatsoever, to the Nets. But you got to get this W. You just have to get this W. And just like the Niners got this W, as they take care of the Seahawks, Drew Lock actually looked better than I think a lot of us thought he would. I don't think he's anything to write home about. I almost forgot how the Broncos were trying to give Drew Lock the keys. He has a famous meme where he is singing Young Jeezy, and oh wow, this guy is down, and this guy's going to take us to the promised land. I have a buddy who is a Broncos fan, and Drew Lock just wasn't it. In that trade, if you remember, because Geno Smith had been with the Seahawks and hadn't really done much, in that trade, I think a lot of people thought that, and Geno didn't look bad prior to that trade when Russell Wilson was injured, but in that trade, when Drew Lock came over, I think most of us thought that Drew Lock would get a shot, but that's when Geno balled out. So I think Drew Lock looked decent. I think Drew Lock isn't a bad quarterback, but again, if you're a Seahawks fan, I would assume that you have to be, as I go to my favorite website of all time, NFL Tankathon, I think you have to be happy with not winning that game because, and I know it's tough to say, but, and Seahawks are 13th right now, so they're kind of in that Vegas situation. I would want to just keep losing because you need a quarterback. That's where all this starts. And Drew Lock, cool story. I just don't think of Pete Carroll. I know he has a young spirit, but you cannot, and I know going to a rookie quarterback, obviously you're starting over, but you know what you have in Drew Lock. And I think if you're a Niners fan, you would be thrilled with either choice. You want to go with Geno for another year? Cool. You want to go with Drew Lock? Cool. So I think the Seahawks are in a very tough spot. We know that trades in the NFL don't happen too often, but what do you do, right? Like I said, right now they're 13th when it comes to the mock draft order. So you're 13th, and Pete Carroll, again, I think the team is young enough to maybe start over, but I look at Pete Carroll the same way I look at Popovich. I didn't understand the Popovich. I understood that, sure, you're getting a generational player, but I have no clue how long Popovich, I know he signed or whatever the case is, but I have no clue how long Popovich is going to want to grow with Wembanyama. It could take a while, and even if Wembanyama gets good, right, you still need to make the team good. I don't think Popovich just wants to be down there in the dumpster for years and years and years, and I think both Popovich and Pete Carroll are on timelines where we got to speed this thing up a bit. So if I'm the Seahawks, I start looking around, and unless you really think that you trade up and you really think a Caleb Williams is going to change the complexity of your whole team in 1 year, 2 years, you might need to start looking around the league and say, okay, who is a team that maybe has a guy that we think can maybe Jimmy G us, but Jimmy G isn't even Jimmy G. So I think the Seahawks are in a very interesting spot where they have a lot of good pieces, but they're missing the most important piece. Again, they are 13th when it comes to the NFL rank, and I really don't know where they go from here. I would want to not win another game, and I know people have too much pride for that, but coming from somebody who has followed the Raiders, you don't want to be in that purgatory. It's just not a good place to be in. Getting to the Eagles, who are now all of a sudden, it's funny how quick things change in life. The Eagles are all of a sudden a laughing stock. And Jalen Hurts is trash, according to everybody. And the Eagles are trash, according to everybody. They were fool's gold. And let me just say this. I felt the same way. Not the same way, but I felt very similar that I did to Brock Purdy than I did Jalen Hurts. If I'm being completely honest, because Jalen Hurts had a good season last season, and he had a really good team, and he had really good weapons, and he had a good offensive line, and they had a really good defense. So he went out, he got his money just based on the timeline. Brock Purdy's going to get his money too. Don't get me wrong. I know that, but I still wanted to see more, right? And as silly as it sounds, the statement that I'm about to say, you really needed to win that Super Bowl. I know it sounds silly. I know it sounds obvious. I know nobody's trying to lose a Super Bowl. But I guess what I'm really trying to say is that nothing is promised in this life, right? How many times specifically in football do we see teams that are set up for success for the next 5 to 10, whatever it is, and it doesn't end up happening? Things change so quickly in football, especially when you're dealing with not a 7-game series, not a 5-game series, not a 3-game series, a 1-game playoff, right? 1 game each to get where you need to go. So for the Eagles to run the table like they did last season, go to the Super Bowl, lose the Super Bowl, and for those to think that they were just going to go back to the Super Bowl again, where, by the way, you made some enemies like the Niners and the Cowboys, I never really thought that the Eagles would have it like that. And then you lose your offensive coordinator. So he's gone now. And the next thing you know, nothing looks good. And they're barely beating the Giants and they're barely beating the Commanders. Okay, but they're winning. I saw somebody say that the Eagles are the Vikings of last season. I wouldn't say that, because at least the Eagles are coming off a Super Bowl appearance and the Vikings were not. But I do think it's similar, because you're looking at this thinking there's no way that this could continue. There's no way they're going to continue to be behind against what we believe to be elite teams and come back and win. I really don't even know how they managed to beat the Chiefs. And I get it that they're in a gauntlet, but that gauntlet, that has nothing to do with how average, right, or maybe slightly above average their offense has looked all season long. So long story short, I think the Eagles are cooked. I think they're done. I don't see, and I say that meaning I do not think they will go back to the Super Bowl. I don't know that I believe in the Cowboys. Personally, I just think it's the Niners' year, right? I think that we're seeing the Niners, what we've seen the last couple years with Jimmy Garoppolo, we're seeing everything that Kyle Shanahan wanted this team to be, everything that Jed York wanted this team to be, everything that John Lynch wanted this team to be. And that's what we're seeing. And that's what they are right now. So barring injury, I expect there to be a parade in Santa Clara. And Chris, where would that parade be, you think? Santa Clara? They would just do it in San Francisco just because.
Yeah, that's tough, because I remember with Golden State, they kind of did a combo, Oakland, San Francisco. But I mean, I don't think you can do that.
It is not that close. I mean, Santa Clara is not close. Anybody who has gone to a Niners game would tell you that, yeah, those aerial photos and videos of San Francisco, that you actually had to take that plane to get from Santa Clara to San Francisco. That's what you had to do.
Yeah, I think it would just have to be in San Francisco.
It would, because you have to have it in San Francisco. It's very similar to when they hosted the Super Bowl. And I believe Radio Row was in San Francisco, but it was very confusing, because if you came from out of town and you just never looked at a Google Maps or whatever, you're thinking, oh, where's the stadium?
Yeah, I've done that with my trips before, go to soccer games and stuff. Oh, let's just stay by the stadium. But everything is not even close to the stadium.
No, I went to, back in 2019, I was hanging out. I went to New York, and I wanted to go to a baseball game. We were staying, right in the middle of everything, Times Square, all that good stuff. I'm asking my buddies, hey, I want to go check out the Bronx. Yeah, it's not really that close. Okay. Hey, can we go to a Yankee game? Yeah, it's not really that close. Okay. Hey, can we go to a Met game? Yeah, we're not really that close. So I didn't go to anything, and you just go there and you assume it can't be that far, when in reality it is. So I don't know where that parade is going to be. Not to put the cart before the horse, but it does feel like this is the Niners' year. We're going to talk to Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports Insider, or Niners Insider, at 11. We got 2 segments with him, so 30 minutes. So a lot of good stuff to get to with him. because I think the Eagles are done. And they're not even – now they have the Seahawks, and that's a game where, okay, Geno didn't force it. Geno could come back. It's in Seattle. As much as a non-Seahawks fan like myself says, just lose, right? I mean, you're not doing anything this season. They got too much pride for that. The Eagles could mess around and lose this game. Right. And I don't know where. I know people were on David Carr and we played the sound about Jalen Hurts playing injured. Okay. And he said some things before that about not being able to read defenses. That's what we were getting on him for. But as far as Jalen Hurts being injured, I mean, they're still running him with the football. So something has got to give. That offense, when is the last both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown went off, quote unquote, went off against the Niners because it was a blowout. Right. But those guys never both have good games, it seems like to me. Either A.J. Brown gets shut down or Devontae Smith gets shut down. At least they got Goddard back. So I could look crazy here in a couple weeks if the Eagles get going again, but it just hasn't looked good, and it's not going to get any easier for them. And the Niners have the tiebreaker. And now, after all this, you beat the Niners in Philly without a QB. You got throttled by the Niners in Philly with the QB. Now, even if you get by, we could talk about the seeding as we get closer to the playoffs. Now you'd have to go to Santa Clara. You got to come to the Bay. So Eagles are in a tough spot. And as funny as it sounds, hey, win it while you're there. Go ask a Bills fan about winning it while you're there. Go ask a Bengals fan who now has an injured Joe Burrow. I know it sounds silly, but this idea that, oh, we'll get back, you might not. This thing, the NFL continues to change year in and year out, unless you have a Kyle Shanahan and a John Lynch and the roster that just never seems to age or get worse. You never seem to lose anybody. But that is the exception to the rule. The Niners are the exception to the rule. The Niners window should have been closed. They've had multiple windows, and I know that's why Niner fans are upset and confused because you got the bridesmaid every single year. You've made it to Super Bowls with multiple coaches in multiple eras. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, the Kings beat the Suns with no Kevin Durant, and the Lakers win the in-season tournament. Did you have a problem with how LeBron celebrated? I didn't. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Save big every day during Lowe's 25 Days of Deals. Save $100 on select Masterbuilt smokers for the grill enthusiast in your life. Plus, get up to 55% off select smart home gifts for everyone on your list. Order eligible in-stock items by 2 p.m. to get same-day delivery. Lowe's knows deals every day. Valid through 12/13 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Delivered by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Dell's holiday event is one of their biggest sales of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day, available in both lab-grown and natural mined.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit Revive.
916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Just Stiles today, as Chris Watkins, who's in the YouTube chat, by the way, in the Sac chat, by the way, hanging out in Vegas, enjoying the fruits of his labor, and the Vikings getting a W. I mean, that might have been the game of the week right there, a W. As we have a switch at producer, Simone just literally popped up like she was in an elevator. Simone is here. Thank you to Chris for live. Chris, go enjoy the rest of your day. We will talk soon, sir, as we take you up to 2 p.m. Emil Fergoso joins us in about 11 minutes, and we will also have Jeff Young at 1 p.m. to talk Giants. Simone, hello. How are you?
Hello. Good morning.
Good to
back.
Yes,
I'm back.
You're back, right? Well, you were technically never here, so
I was indisposed. Yeah.
Right. You were around. And now you are here.
I'm back.
There you go. As they have announced the first ever all NBA in-season tournament team. This was announced about 30 minutes ago by Shams Charania. The first ever all NBA in-season tournament team. Giannis, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Tyrese Halliburton, and of course, LeBron James. So I'm doing a little bit of research here as I am breaking this whole thing down, because the question is, where is De'Aaron Fox? So from the first 4 games, I think the one person you would have that conversation about would be Kevin Durant. So I'm looking here, and the in-season tournament game, it was close, right? So De'Aaron Fox, that game where the Pelicans beat the Kings, De'Aaron Fox had 30. He had 35 and 4, right? And Kevin Durant had 31 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. So he had 1 more point. It was a much closer game, I guess. And you played the Lakers. So is this a part of having a name? Probably. So if you had the same exact Same exact average going into the knockout round. They both were averaging 34.5 points per game. And then you had KD, couple more rebounds, right? Couple more rebounds, even though De'Aaron had more assists and KD scored one more point. But you did it against the Lakers, and it was a much closer game. I guess I get it. I guess I get it. So De'Aaron Fox not on the All-NBA team. My assumption is that they won't do a second or third all team. It's just going to be one. So there it is, right? And maybe we can tie a bow on it in the in-season tournament and call in if you want to be a part of the conversation. Just me today, so you will get through quickly. 916-339-1140. Did you have a problem with LeBron James and how we celebrated? Because I did not, okay? You won the in-season tournament. You had Anthony Davis saying, we know it's not the real one. I think LeBron kept it pretty chill. You walk into the locker room. They didn't even give you, there wasn't any expensive champagne in there. No expensive champagne, anything like that. It was mini bottles like what you get on an airplane, right? LeBron popped the bottle, okay? He is an ambassador of the game. They just won. And I go on social media, and all I see is, oh my gosh, Jordan would never, Kobe would never, RIP. What is LeBron doing? My question, again, call in, 916-339-1140. What did you want LeBron to do? Walk in there and say, hey, we're waiting for the real thing. Remember how everybody roasted Jimmy Butler for that, for not touching the Eastern Conference Championship trophy? He didn't want to hold it, and then they lost in the finals. Remember everybody roasting Jimmy Butler for that? What did you want LeBron to do? Say, hey, that's not the real thing. To sit there and say, we don't care about this, even though we just won it. I did not think that LeBron did anything out of bounds, anything at all. What did you want him to do? It just sounds like people want to hate on LeBron, and that's fine. That's fine, but let's just be honest about it. You could hate, just say, LeBron just kind of bothers me. Did he really do anything wrong? Not really, but whatever, right? That's fine. But to make it seem, oh my gosh, Jordan would never. We don't know because you want talk about Jordan Vegas, by the way. That would have been a sight to see, but we're not going to get into that. What did you want? What did you want LeBron to do? 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Emmy, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Emmy? You're on Stiles and Watkins. Just Stiles today, Sactown Sports.
Hey, Stiles. First of all, I'm a local Bay Area person like you. Second of all, I'm so happy for Sasha. His best game of the season and in his career on Friday night against the Suns. Another thing is, if the Niners were to have a parade in the Bay Area, it would likely be either Santa Clara or San Jose, because San Jose is much bigger than Santa Clara. And when you said Warriors, they didn't have it in Oakland and San Francisco. The last parade, they only had it in San Francisco. I was watching it live.
Right. No, thanks for the call, Emmy. Yeah, San Jose would make more sense for the parade. And if you're just now tuning in, you're thinking, we're talking about parades with the Niners? Yeah, we are, because I think that the Eagles are cooked. And the Cowboys, are you any more scared of if you're a Niners fan, are you any more scared of the Cowboys now than you were when the Niners just blasted them all those weeks ago? I think they look better, but ultimately, I just don't believe in them. It's that simple. I just don't believe in them. So that's why we're talking parades. And the AFC is a complete mess. It's just a mess right now, okay? Are the Bills starting to turn it back around? It's possible, but I don't trust McDermott, and I still don't really trust Josh Allen. So that is why we're talking about parades, because I don't see anybody. Now, we're going to learn a lot on Christmas when Lamar Jackson comes to town with the Ravens and that defense. And now you have Likely, who is doing a good job in that Mark Andrews role. But I just got the Niners. So to answer Emmy's question, we'll get to the Sasha part of it, because Sasha balling out 14 points off the bench. Maybe he shouldn't be on the bench anymore. Maybe somebody said that last week. Maybe that person is sitting in the seat that I'm sitting in right now talking. But we'll get into it when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
God, I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays. Ooma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hold on to your Santa hats because Elk Grove Kia is turning up the holiday heat with deals that'll leave you saying no money down. This Christmas, keep your wallet at home because Elk Grove Kia is making your dreams come true with 0 down payment. That's right, absolutely nothing out of your pocket to drive home in a brand new Kia today. Or if you're ready to slay the season in style, picture this: the award-winning 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, the hottest sled in town, for just $439 per month plus tax. You heard it right, only $439. So whether it's the sleek 2024 Kia Telluride or the no money down offer, Elk Grove Kia says 0 hassles and 0 worries. ElkGroveKia.com. Qualified applicant 0 down sample spot number GK9133 48 month lease 0 down model number C3422 right 24 month lease 439 plus tax 44.95 new site service security deposit residual 33,352 and 8 years December 1 the same GK93 expires 12.
Elk Grove Kia.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Just Stiles today, taking you up to 2 p.m. Chris Watkins is out. He will be back tomorrow, and we will have a lot to catch up on. This is actually the longest period of time that Chris and I, since we started the show, haven't really spoken to each other.
Aww.
Well, you want to give. So basically, when we see different headlines, we'll send them back and forth. But, you're on vacation. I didn't want to, I just sent them to myself instead. I didn't want to, cross that line, right?
Wait, I definitely texted Chris while he was on vacation.
But I didn't want to text him about work.
Okay, got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's been a little bit of a break. So he will be back. I'm excited to have him back in the building. And it's one day here. It's one day. I'm acting like he's been gone for a week or even 2 days, but he will be back tomorrow. We will talk about his time in Vegas and what he thought of his Vikings benching Josh Dobbs and putting in Nick Money Mullins, and what he thought from the Raiders side. I mean, I saw the skull chant happening in Vegas. I don't know what they're going to do in Vegas. And, a lot of Raider fans on my timeline, they're just complaining about it and this and that. I know when the Jets were in town, they were complaining about how, I forgot what bar it was, but some bar casino did a promo for the Jets, and people are saying, Raider fans, we're not going to take our money there anymore. Well, what do you expect them to do? You got to get your money, man. The Vegas does not have any allegiance, no pun intended, to the Raiders. They don't. They have allegiance to money. That's how Vegas was created. So if there are a bunch of Jets fans coming to town or there are a bunch of Viking fans coming to town, you are darn right I'm going to have a Jets special or a Jets event. That's just what it is. So people are saying the Raiders got to fix this. Davis has got to fix this. What do you want them to do? There's nothing that they can do. This is what he signed up for. This is part of it. And the A's, whenever they go in 2028, whenever it is, my daughter might be off to college by the time the A's actually play in Vegas. She's 7 months right now. The same thing is going to happen there. So we'll talk to Chris about the ambiance. I went to a Raider game a couple years back in Vegas. We'll talk to Chris about the ambiance. We'll get his whole breakdown tomorrow as we talk Kings and we talk Niners and all things NorCal sports. Do have a report here as I see the Sack Chat getting down talking about starting Sasha, and Beamley says, hey, you can't start Sasha every single game. I agree. I've always been of the mindset. I think a lot of different, and maybe that's why I'm a Giants fan, because that's all they do. But I've always been of the mindset that you can have a fluctuating lineup to some degree. I always thought it could be dynamic. I always thought that, if this matchup, somebody says, hey, do you want Sasha guarding Zion? No, I don't. But he doesn't have to start that game, right? And maybe it's not about starting. Maybe it's just about the minutes. You need more Sasha right now. That's what I think. And we're not going to get on Harrison Barnes, because I was doing a lot of thinking about Harrison Barnes over this weekend. And when Chris last week did refer to him as the fifth option, it did change my mind just a little bit. I even had a buddy, and everybody wants to know, oh, Alan, you Sacramento through and through now? I even had a buddy who doesn't even live in California anymore. He's now in Oregon. And, really good friend of mine, one of my best buds. And now he watches the Kings because he knows I'm doing this show. And he says to me, Alan, Harrison Barnes does have a lot of hockey assists, right? He does have a lot of passes that do lead to good offensive situations. And I thought, you know what? I mean, you're right. And as a fifth option, if he truly is a fifth option in that starting lineup, you still need more from him. But are we being maybe a little hard on Harrison? I don't know. I mean, he makes 17, 18 mil a year. Okay. I think you still need more from him, but is it a little bit overstated? Every time you lose a game, you want to point the finger, but maybe we need to watch the games in a different light, right? Maybe that's what Coach Mike Brown is seeing from him. Hockey assists, things that I know the overused sports term, I love them, things that don't show up in the scorebook. Maybe. I don't know, but I thought it was interesting for somebody with an outside perspective that doesn't have a negative feeling about Harrison Barnes to say that to me. So maybe. But what we do know is that Sasha Vezenkov definitely needs more minutes. And speaking of, as we see, hey, open up the Brinks truck. That's what the Giants were supposed to do. PJ Tucker, this is being reported by Shams, of course. PJ Tucker is frustrated with his role with the Clippers. And this is a quote from Shams. Both sides are discussing ways to resolve a role for him there or elsewhere. That is according to league sources, and that is per Shams. PJ Tucker, does that move you, Kings fans? Right? He's one of those guys. What does he go? 6'5", but he's a random center. He's got every Kobe shoe that's been created. He's supposed to make the corner threes. I don't know if he actually makes them anymore in his career, but he's a dog, right? He's definitely going to give you that grit. He's definitely going to give you more of that edge that Trey Lyles does as well. If you could just pick him up and you don't lose anybody, why not? Why not? I would say why not? I'm not giving anybody up for him. But if it's, hey, we're just going to move on from PJ, second round, something like that. I don't even know if you want to give up a second rounder, to be honest. But if you could get PJ and not give up anything, I think everybody would take him, right? Not to compare him to a car, but, you know, you ever see a car that you don't love? My dad would always say this too. You see a car, and it'd be a nice car, right? Even a car that, not to say he couldn't afford, but not a car that is a bucket or a lemon or anything like that. And he would see the car and say, Dad, would you want that car, right? Because he's big Corvettes, things like that. Would you want that car, not a Corvette? Or maybe it's a weird color. I mean, I'd take it if somebody gave it to me, but I wouldn't buy it. That's kind of like PJ Tucker to me, right? If you want to just move on from PJ and it's cash or whatever, okay. But you obviously are not giving up anybody that you think can make a change on the Kings right now for PJ. But would I take him on the team? Sure. I think he adds some grit. I think he adds some defensive tenacity. I probably need to watch some film on him because clearly he's not getting any playing time right now. But I would be interested. I would be intrigued to see how that would look. Why not? Why not? As we talk Kings as well, beat the Suns, De'Aaron Fox, and as I talk about Brock Purdy and everybody saying he's underrated, he's not being talked about enough, I do the same thing with De'Aaron Fox. But the difference is De'Aaron Fox dropped 23 points in the fourth quarter. 23 points in the fourth quarter. I go to Bleacher Report, and the first tweet I see is Dylan Brooks doing a stare down. Did you see that, Simone? Dylan Brooks doing a stare down. I think he was in Denver doing a stare down with the crowd and Jamal Murray messing with him. That's the first tweet I see from that slate of games. The first slate I see, the first tweet I see from that slate of games, nothing. The only thing I saw on De'Aaron Fox was he was part of a thread from the NBA for people that balled out on that night. And he had his post along with others. But I saw nothing from SportsCenter. I saw nothing. This guy is a reigning clutch player of the year, right? Everybody likes to get on whether you're clutch or not. This is who De'Aaron Fox is. Against Devin Booker, no, there was no Kevin Durant, but Devin Booker was balling out too. No posts whatsoever besides the NBA, and it wasn't even a De'Aaron-focused post. It was everybody who played decently. And Bleacher Report has Dylan Brooks, the first post. What are we doing? So I'm not trying to separate that from the Brock Purdy situation, but I do feel like things could be worse. Things could be worse. If you're a Brock Purdy fan, things could be worse. Mitch, I see you on the line. We'll get to you after the break. More of your calls, 916-339-1140, as we take you up to 2 p.m. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. For me, the best times were when there were 3 generations all celebrating together. Today, we're the grandparents, and the holiday spotlight shines on my grandson. And I hope he'll remember holidays the way his papa does. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create your own kind of holiday memories during their holiday home sale. Unique gifts found only at Naturewood, like hall trees, curios, chairside tables, and more, are available at savings of 20% off. During Naturewood's holiday home sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale, going on right now. The memories you make with your family will live with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location, is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Save big every day during Lowe's 25 Days of Deals. Save $100 on select Masterbuilt smokers for the grill enthusiast in your life. Plus, get up to 55% off select smart home gifts for everyone on your list. Order eligible in-stock items by 2 p.m. to get same-day delivery. Lowe's knows deals every day. Valid through 12/13 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Delivered by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Dell's holiday event is one of their biggest sales of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Here is a toss going the other way, away from Adams. A toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20. Devin Weatherspoon, he cuts inside on him and toasts it all the way down to the 3-yard line. On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Just Stiles today, taking up to 2 p.m. And we are joined by our Sactown Sports Niners insider, Emil Fergoso, for 30 minutes today. 2 segments. Emil is nice enough to hang with us. Emil, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Stiles. How you doing?
I'm good. Now, you do a lot of great work for the station. You write pieces. You're working on one right now. about what Trent Williams had to say. And we'll talk about that in the next segment, right? We want to kind of talk about the game here. But is it tough? It's got to be and it's the same thing on the air as well, but it's got to be a happy medium between a little bit of drama, which the Niners had.
Oh, yeah.
And also winning. I feel like that's the perfect storm because the beginning of this, we're getting closer to how it was at the beginning of the season where the Niners are just rolling, right? So, I mean, how many different ways can you write the Niners are just better than everybody else and everybody that they're playing? And the Niners, I don't know how much different that game is. That game is yesterday if Geno does play because we saw them play with Geno. And the Niners destroyed them.
You want my honest opinion? If Geno played,
sure,
it wouldn't have scored many points. Geno was that bad. I watched his warm-ups. I got there right after he was wrapping up, and he could barely move.
Yeah,
it was a smart move to play Drew Lock because if Geno was in the pocket, he would have gotten killed.
And Geno takes, what did he take, 6 sacks on Thanksgiving? Something absurd like that.
He got crushed.
He always takes sacks. It always feels like Geno stays in the pocket for a little too long. And if you're a Seahawks fan, before we get into the Niners, you never want to see an injury, but I would say this is a little bit of a good situation for the Seahawks. The Seahawks aren't winning the Super Bowl this season.
No.
Right? So, okay, Geno, get healthy, seriously get healthy. But at the same time, let's see what we have with Drew Lock. Another game. I don't think he looked bad, but let's also take this time to figure out what we're doing as an organization at the quarterback position.
Exactly, yeah. And they're really at a crossroads this season with Geno because his contract, while it was expensive when they signed him in the offseason, there is an out in his deal, I believe either after this season or next season to get out of that 3-year deal. So they're kind of at a crossroads of what we want to do. And I do think they're going to want to ride it with Geno another year possibly because I do like what he's brought in just as veteran leadership this team. But it's very clear that there's limitations to it too with Seattle. So I think they need to stick with Geno for a little bit and then kind of in the background find their next guy.
I'm sitting here, and if you are going to have Geno for another year, because they do have a young team, so you can kind of afford to do that.
Yes.
You thinking you try to trade up and get a Caleb Williams or a Drake May or somebody, Penix, I think his name has come up because he's
Jaden
up there
Daniels
as well.
is looking really good right now.
I know Raider fans want Jaden Daniels as well, but do you get one of those guys? You know where I'm going with this. The evil empire, you flip things on its head.
Yeah.
And I'm always going to find a way to bring it up.
Oh, you got to.
Would you give Trey Lance a look? You already had one reclamation project that worked with Geno.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do 2 in a row.
No,
I think Pete Carroll might lose a couple more years off of doing that one.
Yeah,
I think he's okay with the Geno Smith reclamation project and the Drew Lock reclamation project because at least those guys are competent pocket.
But
passers.
you're still bringing in again. This is the cycle.
Yeah,
this is an assumption. The Cardinals would never trade somebody in the division, but Kyler Murray, I don't think is going to be a Cardinal next season. I don't know where he goes.
I agree.
I don't know where he goes, and I don't think that the Cardinals would send him to the Seahawks. But as much as, yes, I would definitely go with anybody in the draft over Trey Lance. But this is what we just did a couple years ago with that draft class, and they all stunk.
Yeah.
Besides Trevor Lawrence. So the idea that we're going to get one of these guys and we're going to be good. If you're Pete, if that's your argument against Trey, I would argue you got to go out and get somebody, I said a Jimmy G-esque guy that's somebody that actually is good.
Kirk Cousins is calling. I'm just saying.
After an Achilles, though?
They would take a chance because Kirk's not about mobility. It's about accuracy with the throwing. And he was very, very good before that Achilles injury, obviously. And
well, now you sound like Klay Thompson post-injury, and he was supposed to be normal too.
But there's a lot more movement. Clay was known for his off-ball movement and shooting that way, and while the shot has fallen off a little bit, Kirk was having a very, very good season. We forget the Vikings diced up the Niners on Monday Night Football, and that was one of Kirk's best games of the season. And then he tore his Achilles, so he still has the ability to throw, and it wouldn't be a long-term deal.
I gotta see it first.
I know, I get it.
I get it. Or here we go.
Okay.
The Jets.
Oh boy.
Hey, we want to move forward. Is it a last hurrah with Aaron, or maybe send him over to Seattle?
That would be just so heartbreaking for Niner fans. And at the same time, I don't even know if Aaron would like that because
probably
while Aaron has disdain for the Niners organization for passing on him. He still grew up in Chico, still grew up a
No,
Niner
that's
fan.
not why Aaron wouldn't. Aaron would say no because Aaron wants to be in New York.
He does want to be in. It's very clear he wants to be in New York, and I think Aaron wants to stay there. And who knows how it's going to work out. When it comes to Kyler, though, why not to the Raiders?
I've said that.
I've been throwing this out.
Oh, I've said that.
Yeah,
I would. Kyler to the Raiders, I think could happen.
That's Showtime Vegas, all written all over it. Mark Davis would get all over that thing.
Yep, and they are again back in purgatory to where I know that Jaden Daniels mentioned Antonio Pierce during his Heisman speech, and everybody's like, "Come to Vegas, come to Vegas." But I agree with you. If you are going with Jaden Daniels, you need to let Devontae go on with his career.
You really do. Yeah, they need a better.
So that's what I would say.
The Raiders are a win now built team. They are built to win right now, except for the quarterback, and that's the biggest problem. Is that they can just get a quarterback that's competent and can be consistent week in and week out. And I know Kyler isn't that either, but at least he has potential to be a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback.
Right.
That's kind of all they need because everything else is set in stone.
Yeah, their defense is probably the best defense that I've seen the last decade.
Oh, I've never seen the Raiders defense be this good ever.
Right,
Ever.
and it wasn't their problem yesterday.
No,
they put up a 3 spot, but Aiden O'Connell, thank you for your service.
Yes.
It's just not going to work out. And you know what? That's really confusing when it comes to preseason.
Yes,
because we've seen guys ball out in the preseason and it translates. We've seen guys ball out in the preseason and it doesn't. Right? I mean, DTR for the Browns, he balled out. We thought, wow, he could be something for the Browns. Hasn't looked great. And another guy, MVP front runner now as of last night, Dak Prescott. That's how he got going. His start, he balled out in the preseason, and it did translate. So you really never know. I know Aiden O'Connell looked great in the preseason.
Yeah.
Raider fans thought they had their own version of Brock Purdy. It turns out they do not.
No, and Desmond Ridder as well balled up for the Falcons in the preseason and has been very subpar since then. So preseason, it really isn't a true accurate of what a quarterback is going to be in the regular season because they're playing second and third stringers.
It's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag. Whereas Brock did. When Brock came back from his UCL injury, he did have a couple snaps in the final 2 games, and he looked very, very good. And you're like, well, is it going to translate over? And boy, oh howdy, has it translated over for Brock Purdy.
So getting back to Brock and the Niners, I mean, what were your initial thoughts on this game? I think we all knew that the Niners were going to win. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, I guess, surprised the Niners a little bit, running the football more, and Charbonnet got loose, and that. The one scoring drive that every team seems to give up is normally early in the game, and people are freaking out thinking, oh, my goodness. And by the way, that was an answer, right, to Christian McCaffrey and what he did. So you already were starting from a hole. What did you even take away from this game?
The Seahawks are in desperation mode. They need to win very badly. That's 4 straight weeks of losses, I believe. They're 6-7 on the season. They need to win, and it was really clear how desperate they were in that entire game by how gritty they were playing and how much they were playing to their strengths against their weaknesses. But at the same time, we've talked about this for so many weeks. The Niners just levels better than kind of anyone in the NFL right now. Their talent level, their overall preparation, the way they look at football, the way they look at each individual opponent. They're so farther ahead of the curve. It's actually kind of laughable to the point of I was actually giggling in the press box when McCaffrey broke the first play because I was like, well, it's going to be one of those days. And thankfully it wasn't just a blowout. Seattle was competitive and had their moments, but we also forget the Niners lost Javarius Ward in the first series of the game, which is their lockdown corner to go up against DK Metcalf. And so I think the Niners defense played admirably yesterday, despite losing Javon Hargrave and Javarius Ward throughout that game.
Do we have, I'm sure there's no update on
3:30 Kyle Shanahan update.
There you go. So we'll get an update there. And he's been good. He's been really good. Charvarius Ward has been. And I don't know if the Seahawks were just unable to, they didn't really get DK the ball after that happened.
No.
Right?
2 catches for 52 yards. So that was it. That was it for him. So
yeah, so that was it for him with the Seahawks team that has a lot of weapons. Tyler Lockett, I like to call him a vampire. Feels like he's been the same age and been in the league forever.
Him and Doug Baldwin.
I don't know what it is about the Seahawks, but they get receivers that just hang around and hang around and hang around. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because we're not going to get into capology and whether the Niners can keep this guy. But isn't it a little, I would just say rewarding for Debo? Hasn't this been talk about reclamation project? I think Debo comes back. He admits that he was out of shape. He admits that he could have been better. And what he didn't say, and I'm not going to speak for him, I think that bringing McCaffrey in probably shook him a little bit. He finally got his money, right? He was a little bit loud and going to the clubs and removing Niner stuff. And then all of a sudden, I think he got a little taste of reality here, to be honest. And they said, hey, you better get with it or get lost, because we can find guys, Debo. We like you a lot, and we think you are special. But now we got Christian McCaffrey. And I think Debo saw a shift in how the fans treated him, right? I saw it too. Now, I thought that the fans had a little bit of a short memory when it comes to Debo.
They did.
But all these years later, right, or this year later, Debo comes back shredded, ready to prove a point with the chip on his shoulder. And really, if you're the Niners, this is all you could ask for. We're going to give you your money when we feel like it. Then we're going to bring in somebody because iron sharpens iron. And now we're going to get the best version of you. But from a fan standpoint, I think it did feel like people thought, if we can't sign Ayuk and Debo, let Debo walk. Do you feel like that now? Because my guess is no.
No, the guess is no. And frankly, Brandon Ayuk's emergence has really kind of sharpened Debo and gotten him to be locked in as well, because again, iron sharpens iron. He saw a competition with McCaffrey and with Brandon, and it was like, I got to get back into shape. And that's why he was so critical last season after the fact, because he was like, that just wasn't my standard. It just wasn't what I'm used to doing. So I have to come in this season and be better. And since week 11, leading the NFL in receiving yards.
There you go. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to talk to Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider. This is where things could get a little spicy, because I don't think me and Emil are going to agree about this Brock Purdy take. When we get back, you don't want to miss it. Stiles and Watkins, just Stiles today, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no accounts to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
We'll go with that.
That's my style.
There you go. So I was thinking about this. I started thinking about this yesterday after the Niners game and continue to think about it this morning. Okay. And I want to get your take on this, because Brock Purdy, okay, the plight of Brock Purdy. Let's go there, right? The plight of Brock Purdy, according to Niners fans.
Yes.
You have a guy who was drafted last pick in the draft.
Yes.
Who comes in, right, to a team that has gone to a Super Bowl within the last couple years, multiple NFC championships within the last couple years. And they did it behind a quarterback who is now on the Raiders and got benched for Aiden O'Connell because he was hot garbage. The hottest of garbages, right? Trash, complete trash. So you have that going on, and you have Brock Purdy, who still to this day has not played 2 full seasons. So within that time frame, Brock Purdy had to deal with having the best roster in the NFL. A lot of people would consider it the best roster in the NFL.
It is.
Offensively and defensively, those weapons, and a top 5 coach in Kyle Shanahan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the plight of Brock Purdy, if you let Niners fans tell it, is that he is disrespected. People call him check down Charlie. People say he's being carried, right? And people like myself just wanted to see more, okay? So throughout this course, he does what he does in the first season, where at that point, it could have been a Jeremy Lin type run.
Yeah.
Goes to the playoffs, gets injured. This season, okay, let's see what he does this season. Starts balling out, and look what happens. He is top 2 with MVP odds, okay? So my question is, who is disrespecting Brock Purdy? How can you be disrespected when you are number 1 and number 2 for MVP odds, right? It's like, to me, it almost feels like everybody likes to be the underdog.
Yeah.
And I do think that Brock Purdy, some people disrespect him.
Yeah.
But I also feel that what Niner fans are trying to get with Brock Purdy is unattainable. We literally have people that still think that Patrick Mahomes is a product of Andy Reid. It truly is still happening, right?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, who has 2 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That came out last week. People said, Patrick Mahomes, what are you going to do without Tyreek Hill? He wins more, right?
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson has an MVP. I know he needs to do more in the playoffs. Ask Lamar Jackson about naysayers.
Yeah.
Ask Tom Brady about naysayers, okay? He had to go to Tampa. Is it Bill Belichick? So this idea that Brock Purdy has been so wildly disrespected when under 2 years, he's gone from the last pick in the draft to top 2 in MVP odds is a little bit overstated and a little bit ridiculous to me. Who is disrespecting him? Where do we think Vegas is getting these odds? From NFL writers. Nick Wright doesn't have a vote.
No.
Colin Cowherd doesn't have a vote. Who cares? Who cares? I feel like Niners fans and content creators alike, it's just fun to them, right? To oh my goodness, because okay, Steven Ruiz and I did this too. Yeah. I don't know that he has a vote or not. I would hope not.
He does not.
Okay, so who are you? The plight of Brock Purdy is a little bit overstated to me. If he was still 5th or 6th in MVP voting, I'd have a different conversation. But he's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Now the Niner fans are probably more at ease because he is 1 and 2. He's right. He's right there.
Not according to social media. Emil, the ball goes up in the air, and I thought he was a yak guy. I thought he couldn't do it every time.
I also did tweet that out yesterday. Where's my Brock Purdy check down people? I did tweet that out yesterday.
They're nowhere.
There were still a few coming off of the Eagles game of, oh, well, Debo did all this. And yes, he does have the help around him, absolutely. But the throws that Brock Purdy can make, and I've been talking about this since he tore his UCL and came back from surgery, it's like he's gotten better from surgery. It's like his arm has gotten better. It's like he's just.
But we're just seeing him more, though. Everybody to me, people like me just wanted to see more.
No, I get that. But hasn't he proven to you enough now that he is this guy, that he is a top 5 quarterback?
And that's why he's number 2 in MVP odds.
And we're not even mad at you now, Stiles. We're mad at the other people.
But who are those other people?
The Nick Wright and the Steven Ruizes.
There's a couple people.
You know how this works, though?
No, I know. But all I'm saying is Brock Purdy actually still being disrespected? Or is it just that it's fun? The idea of him being disrespected is more fun. Niner fans, and not to necessarily take it there, I do think that a bit of it is engagement farming, right? A Niner fan who puts together a compilation of Brock Purdy's throws, right, knows that Niner fans, a content creator, knows that Niner fans are going to eat it up. I do think that's part of it too. Do I actually? It's just funny to me. How can you be disrespected when you are number 1 in MVP odds? It's just hilarious to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. How can he be disrespected? But at the same time, he had been for the last how many weeks, and especially during that 3-game skid.
But how fast do we want this to happen? He hasn't even played 2 full seasons.
No, I get it. It's now he has to finish the job.
Sure.
Now the Niners have to finish the job, and that's what you got to think about now. Is yes, you got all your wins. Yes, you're first in the NFC. You got that. Can you hold it? Can you win the Super Bowl number 6?
Agreed.
That's the only way you're going to shut up all the haters.
Yes,
is winning Super Bowl number 6 behind Brock Purdy.
But again, there will always be haters.
Yeah, there always will be.
Like, and I think fans, not just Niner fans, I think fans also do like that because it's fun. But to believe that Brock Purdy is truly disrespected from a national standpoint at this point, I think is I think it's just a little bit fun for Niners fans. I think that, to be fair, I think that to start this season, hey, you guys got to pay attention to this dude. If every time you turn on a Niners game and the announcer is saying, we got to start respecting every game. We got to start respecting this guy. It was Greg Olsen, and I hope Greg Olsen won back some Niner fans because they were not happy with Greg Olsen after the Eagles. But even at the end of that game, he said he has a lot of weapons, but he's still blah 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 blah. They're saying it every game. So to me, Brock is getting the respect he deserves, because if he wasn't, I think he would still be 5th or 6th, or Christian McCaffrey would be higher than him in MVP odds, because I don't think Vegas is coming up with this out of nowhere. I think they're taking the pulse on the NFL writers that are going to vote.
I think now it's undeniable. There was doubt in previous weeks, even leading up to the Eagles week. There was a report coming out, the Eagles player saying he was the weakest link on the roster, and that kind of fueled him up and fired him. And that was coming from players, it wasn't even coming from the media. And so maybe it's just a little bit of trash talk wanting to get in their head and stuff. But the notion is still around that, oh, Brock Purdy has one kind of subpar game. Oh, is it midnight for him? Is the clock start? Is Cinderella going to turn back into a pumpkin? That's still kind of the notion around there. And yet all Brock has done and shown you is that he is this guy. He can go into hostile environments, take over the game. He can come back from behind 2 straight weeks doing that. Brock Purdy never falters, always stays even keeled, never too high, never too low. Even in celebration, he has his moment of fist pump, and then he's just the same guy. And that's what makes Brock Purdy so, I want to say, like, attracted to people, but like, they're like, why is he so just regular? Why is he a regular dude?
Yeah, he looks like
he comes in with a $50 Kohl's outfit.
When I was in the Bay working my tech job, there are 15 Brock Purdys walking around right now on BART right now as we speak.
Nice little comb over, little fade, little action,
super cuts, right?
He's literally Clark Kent. He turns into Superman when he goes on the field, though. And I kind of made the comparison of like he's Tony Stark with the event. Like, you want to compare the Niners to the Avengers, he's Tony Stark. He's Iron Man, because he's just a regular genius. But when he goes on the football field, he puts on the suit and becomes Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think that we're at a point where we are at a stalemate. Yes. Because as long as the Niners stay healthy, I do believe they'll win. The Brock Purdy is probably the only quarterback right now, because of that roster and because of how bad Jimmy Garoppolo has looked, that could win the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't change. If you were a hater, you're going to stay a hater. Right. But my whole thing is, and maybe I don't like to police fandom, but maybe I am doing that a little bit, because people aren't thinking about the MVP. It's just some dummy that's a Seahawks fan keeps saying he's checked down Charlie, so this one's for you, right? Maybe that's all it is, and maybe I am looking at it too technically, right? And just saying, guys, he's clearly not being disrespected. Look at where he is. But Seahawk fan 1234 says he's checked down Charlie, so I'm going to roast him. Maybe I'm taking it deeper than other people are taking it, because ultimately everybody is going to have haters. And Brock could win a Super Bowl and people will say that it's because of the roster, right? We can't go back in time. Everybody says, well, those 3 games. I saw Joy Taylor talking about, well, those 3 games. But yeah, Joy, but what did he do? He had them in position to win that Cleveland game, and Jake Moody missed the kick. So that's only 2 losses now.
And if not for Jake Moody missing the kick, they are the standalone number 1 in the NFL.
So I just don't think, I think that Niner fans, I think it's fun to them.
Yeah.
But I do think what they're hoping and looking for is unattainable. And if you were to tell me that somebody went from being the last pick in the draft to having the best odds to win NFL MVP in less than 2 full seasons, and then you would also say, yeah, but I think he's disrespected, I'd say you're out of your mind. If I would say you're out of your mind.
I would agree, because this is just beyond the wildest of dreams that Kyle Shanahan, maybe even Brock Purdy had when he was drafted last overall in last season. And, winning the starting job, or the backup, the 3rd string job over Nate Sudfeld, and then coming through all the injuries and leading that team despite not practicing with the starters until he came in with the Dolphins in week 13. This is the wildest of Cinderella stories. And yet Niner fans are clamoring that Cinderella story because it's talk about, it's clickbait. It's all this. Niner fans are some of the most dedicated fans in the NFL, but they also can be some of the most annoying at times. They can be. I just respect you guys. You guys have had a lineage of great quarterbacks. Steve Young, Joe Montana, Jeff Garcia, Colin Kaepernick, all these really, really talented quarterbacks. And you've won a lot of Super Bowls. But to expect Brock Purdy to be this guy right away where he's at is just unattainable. So maybe you are right, Alan. Maybe you are. It's not attainable for what they're looking for. But what they do have is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL currently.
Yeah. Look,
and they should be happy with that.
They should be happy. They are. And I do think it's just fun, right? Because every time he throws a ball, because people will never forget. And now what's going to happen is everybody would do the same thing with Tyrese Halliburton. Everybody knew Brock Purdy was going to be a guy, and everybody knew he wasn't just a check down Charlie, when in reality, nobody did know. We saw a flash last season. We saw the appetizer. We wanted the main course. We got it this year. People like me are saying, Brock is a baller. Yeah. I can't deny it. And here's the thing. Nick Wright gets paid to deny it. If Nick Wright says, guys, I'm sorry, Niner fans from all across the globe don't retweet his stuff, I think it's engagement farming, right? Because Nick Wright's a Chiefs fan. I don't think he believes what he's saying.
No. Well, frankly, LaShawn McCoy had to backtrack. LaShawn McCoy made a public apology and then actually was at the game yesterday with Frank Gore. So he was taking in the action as well. So LaShawn McCoy has backtracked. I just want to say that. So there are pundits out there who disrespected Purdy.
Yeah.
But Nick Wright is so steadfast of being right. Stephen Reeves, so steadfast.
Why would they?
That he puts Derek Carr over Brock Purdy.
Well, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Because it's stupid. It's a wrong take.
If we look at the amount, if we look at the Ringer NFL and Stephen Ruiz and who is sharing those tweets, right? The percentage of who's sharing those posts, if you were to break down by team, because he does every team, Niner fans have to be sharing that thing at a clip way higher than everybody else. Emil, this has been great. Before you go, I did want to make sure you get this question. This is from Scooter916 on the Sack Chat. He wants to ask if you think the Jason Verrett signing is relative to the severity of the Ward injury. Is it worse than originally thought? I'm trying to remember the timing on that. I feel like Verrett was signed before.
Verrett, so I have details. Verrett was signed before Javarius Ward got hurt yesterday. Jason Verrett was at the game in the tower suite watching as a fan. I confirmed this with Matt Mayoko. He is expected to sign to the practice squad. It's going to be on the practice squad. It's not because of Javarius Ward's injury. It's more so for depth concerns because he are down a bunch of safeties.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Emil Fergoso, that was good stuff, man.
That was great.
That was good stuff. Thank you so much, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider. We will talk to you again next Monday. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continue. I see the calls lighting up now. We will continue to talk Niners and begin to talk Kings as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life, especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And if you need a little more pep in your step, get yourself a refreshing Peppermint Frosty Cream Cold Brew. Or you can give it to your mom. Whatever.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Vanilla Frosty is temporarily unavailable.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day, available in both lab-grown and natural minds.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho-ho-ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic #2 combo meal spreads cheer with a farm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. Give them a Stihl. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the Stihl Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $30 on the BG56 CE handheld blower. Visit your local Stihl dealer or go to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Amazon will be delivering packages to your house. Let Amazon deliver customers to your business. If that sounds good and you want more in 2024, simply text digital to 916-766-5105.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Just Stiles today, as we had a spirited conversation with Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider. And, I think that's where I'm at with it, right? During one of the crossovers last week with Whitey Gleason, I was airing it out about Niners fans and the Brock Purdy thing, and Whitey gave me a look confirming that I was okay. But I do think that I have molded this thing to understand more that this is just fans being fans. I don't personally think that you can be as big of an underdog as people. Underdog isn't the right term. Underrated, right? Or disrespected as Niner fans think he is. Meanwhile, he is top 2 in MVP voting and was number 1 going into this last week, but Dak beat the Eagles just like Brock did last week, right? In similar fashion, Niners blew them out more. But the fact remains, it's hard to, I guess, take that point of view unless you really just want everybody in the world to feel the way that you feel about a player, when that's simply not possible. And that's just not a thing. As we talk Niners, begin to talk Kings as well, as we get closer to Nets Suns, Nets Kings, and 916-339-1140. Let's get to Mitch, who's been hanging on for a while, who wants to talk. I don't know if you want to talk Niners or Kings, Mitch. What you got for us?
Merry Christmas, Alan. Thanks for taking the call.
Merry Christmas.
I'll talk both. First of all, LeBron, he deserved it. He's one of the best players, and he's almost 39. And he went to his son's debut. Hopefully it works out for him. Didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a game. All that brouhaha, all these people making a big deal, the media, stay themselves talk, like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would take Tucker. It won't cost much. He wants to rebound and shoot. Clog the mirror. Sometimes you wonder if Trey Lyles or McGee, JaVale McGee, and even Harrison Barnes might work. And with the MVP, the 49ers, they're running all cylinders. I agree with those guys are going down the totem pole there with the MVP. But Debo and Ayuk, they might take the MVP from Purdy. What do you think? And thanks for letting me talk.
No, thanks for the call, Mitch. Yeah, I think at this point in time, if we were going to see Christian McCaffrey scoot up, and I think Christian McCaffrey would have to take votes away from Brock Purdy. And the last one that I checked, I don't know how high Christian McCaffrey is, but I don't believe he's in the top 5. So I don't think that we should have to worry about that. As far as what Mitch was talking about, as far as PJ Tucker was reported by Shams that PJ is not happy with the Clippers. He's not getting very much playing time. So he and the team are discussing options, whether that be a changing role on this team or on that team or on a different team. So the question is, if you are the Kings, and would you take him, right? And again, I don't know if the Clippers would just give him away, right? But I think that if it was something extremely minimal, that you would have to kick the tires on it. I think he would help. He would add some grit, add some defensive tenacity. But again, I don't even know if I'm giving up a second round pick. I don't know what I'm giving up for PJ Tucker. but it would be nice to just add him to the roster as we get through these calls. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Evan, who wants to be a part of the conversation, talking about Brock Purdy. What's up, Evan? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Hey, Alan, what's goody? Happy holidays.
Same to you.
Right on. So what I wanted to talk about really quickly is I agree that Brock Purdy is definitely an MVP candidate. The question I would have is I would say that there's 4 quarterbacks that could probably run any offense regardless of the coach, the offensive coordinator, whatever. And that's, Lamar Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. That's Joe Burrow, that's Patrick Mahomes, and that's Josh Allen. Now, the question I have is, can you put Brock Purdy on the Jets? Can you put Brock Purdy in any other system? And is he still the MVP candidate? Just want to hear your perspective on that.
No, thanks for the call, Evan. And look, that's when we take this to Marvel and the different universes and dimensions. And it's not that it's wrong, right? I mean, CJ Stroud is in the running. What does Brock Purdy look like on the Texans? Is he turning Tank Dell into what Tank Dell currently looks like? I don't know. But the problem is we won't know. In our minds, the answer is probably no, right? I mean, I would think that you put Brock Purdy on the Jets and he definitely looks better than Zach Wilson, right? But does he look like an MVP candidate like Evan asked? I have no clue. I'm still of the mindset that answer is no. But that, to Evan's point as well, that doesn't mean that Brock shouldn't win the MVP because we can only operate in reality. We can only operate in reality. And the reality is Jimmy Garoppolo didn't look like this. I know he didn't really get to play with Christian McCaffrey. Jimmy Garoppolo looked a lot better, but he didn't look like this, right? Didn't have Christian McCaffrey the same way that Brock does. But Christian McCaffrey, I mean, we'd have to break down how many passing yards is Brock, and I guess it's not fair because the threat of the run also helps Brock. But the Niners always ran the football. They were always top in rushing. So Jimmy Garoppolo also had that. So now you break down how many passes are specifically going to Christian McCaffrey. And I don't think that, I mean, I play the prize picks or whatever. Christian McCaffrey's yards on receptions or receiving yards, they're never at 50 or 40 or anything like that. So it's really confusing. It's a tough conversation to have. Josh Allen, can we put Josh Allen in that category still? I know he makes you think about what could happen or what he could be, but I say it's Patrick Mahomes, and who else did Evan say? Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and did he say Aaron Rodgers, I think? So
no.
Who was it? It was Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and it was either Aaron Rodgers or someone else. I'm going to go find it. So I think I would agree with all of that, but at the same time, that's not how you can decide MVP. So again, it's value versus MVP. Brock Purdy could win the MVP, but do we think Brock Purdy is the most valuable player? I saw Emmanuel Acho last week, and he had Trent Williams in his top 5 for MVP candidates. He did not have Brock Purdy, but he had Trent Williams. Now, maybe he's doing the engagement farming thing again, but Trent Williams is ridiculous at his position. Running to the left seems to be a positive every time the Niners do it. So to answer Evan's question, it was Lamar. So it was Lamar Jackson. Thank you, Simone. It was Lamar. That was number 4 on the list as far as you could put him in any offense. And Lamar is another tough one. I don't know if everybody would agree with that. I think he's balling this year, but they finally got him weapons. And Lamar's another guy who still deals with naysayers. And Lamar has an MVP. First, he dropped in the draft after he balled out at Louisville. Then he won an MVP. And how many people, if you ask your buddies, hey, would you take Lamar on your team? Out of the ones that would say, oh, any day, how many would say, it's lazy, the way, him throwing the football and, right? So it's just really hard to break out of those. I don't want to use the word stereotypes, but when you have an idea or when people have an idea about you, it's just really hard to break out of it. So Brock Purdy is just going to get in line with everybody else who's had to deal with things that have been said about them that may be true at one point, but are no longer true, right? Brock Purdy can throw the football. He can spin it, as the kids say. But it won't matter. He could win MVP. It won't matter. There will always be naysayers. And Niner fans, honestly, that's good. That's good. okay? Because that's what Brock is used to. I'm sure he likes it. He prefers it that way, right? You don't want anybody, giving you a silver spoon or handing you food on a silver spoon. That's not what Brock's used to. Brock is a 6 foot, maybe. Has anyone ever sit next to Brock? He claims 6 foot. Maybe it's legit, right? Quarterback. He's got the 10 yards split with Lamar Jackson, but he's not a burner. Okay, like I said, I see 10 guys that look like Brock Purdy whenever I go to a spot in the financial district in San Francisco with a Patagonia jacket and a backpack. They all look like Brock. Okay, so Brock prefers it this way. Can you put him on the Texans? And are the Texans as good as they are with CJ Stroud? I don't know. But luckily, you don't have to live, if you're a Niners fan, you don't have to live in that reality. And also, luckily, if you are a Niners fan, that's not how they vote for MVP. They can't. It would be unfair. Brock Purdy, I just saw something during this break. Brock Purdy, he has the highest passer rating, minimum 500 attempts in NFL history. The highest pass rating in NFL history, minimum 500 attempts. Brock Purdy, 113.8. Patrick Mahomes, 103.9. Aaron Rodgers, 103.6. The highest passer rating in NFL history. That's Brock Purdy. Would he have that on the Texans? I don't know, but it doesn't really matter because Brock Purdy is wearing the red and gold. He is a 49er. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, starting to turn the page to the Kings as they take on the Nets. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey there, listen up, Sacramento. Ready to make this holiday season unforgettable? Well, we've got something that'll have you jingling all the way. Picture this, a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for only $279 per month plus tax with no money down. No, I did not stutter. No money down. That's right. Zip, zero, nada. Elk Grove Kia is spreading the joy this Christmas, and we're making it easier than ever for you to drive home in style. So why wait? I will say it again. Head on down to Elk Grove Kia and drive home your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS today with absolutely no money down. Elk Grove Kia is your go-to destination for top-notch quality and unbeatable service. Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or go to elkgrovekia.com. $279 plus tax, zero customer cash consignment residual of $10,000 value, $250 lease, and 10-year costs per mile over 0 security.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. It's just Stiles today as Watkins is enjoying a much deserved day off. He will be back tomorrow. Just Alan and Simone rocking with you until 2 p.m. Talking a lot of Niners, a lot of Brock Purdy. A lot of people are calling him Brock Sturdy, Brock Steady. So many names. And, when he first started balling out last season, I was doing a Niners postgame show. And we did so many. Party Like a Brock Star. What else is there?
Classic.
There is... Riding Dirty with Purdy. I had that one as well. Simone, I feel like you would be good at this exercise.
Coming up with, I don't know. I'm like a little rusty. I've been out for the last week. I'm just trying to get my bearings back here.
Okay.
I'll think about something, though.
Okay, I'm sure you will. By the way, you came back with some Busta Rhymes, right?
Yes.
And Busta actually dropped an album maybe a week or so ago. And what they do, right, these older artists now, they're kind of going in the collab route, right? Or the collab route, where I'm going to drop an album, but I'm going to have Offset on it. I'm going to have these younger guys, Young Thug. I'm going to have these younger guys on them. So the younger audience, the younger generation will listen to my music. So I caught Busta Rhymes' newest album, and it actually got some bangers on it. Workout bangers for sure. So go check that out if you have liked Busta Rhymes and some of the newer guys he's made sure to bring along as well.
Can I just make a real quick point?
Yes.
You talking about older rappers. I went to the Holiday Jam this past weekend.
Yeah.
Woof. There were Petey Pablo up there. I thought he was going to break something.
Wow.
It
was
was
breaking it down.
crazy. Yeah, he was like jumping down onto the concourse, getting back
Who
up.
else
I was
was
like, E40.
Of course.
Of course. Luma D. There was Mr. Fab was there.
Of course.
It was a good time.
Good.
Good time.
Wow.
Just piqued my interest talking about older rappers.
Yes. No, definitely. So shout out to older rappers, shout out to, what's interesting is people will say, and if you have a younger brother or a sister or a sibling or a cousin or whatever, they'll make you feel old real quick, right? But I've always felt like there's certain careers that you are allowed to just not grow up, right? If I'm like, my little nephew will say that I'm washed up, but you're listening to Future talking about doing younger things than me, and Future is like 40. But Future can do it because he's a rapper.
Yeah, I went with Kyle Ledbetter, our lovely producer
There you
here.
go.
And there was a lot of songs that he knows now that are being sampled. And I was like, no, this was a Baby Bash song back in the day, kid.
He's like, wow, they're sampling this Saweetie song.
Yeah. No,
it's the
like,
worst.
We got it all mixed up, but we'll get him right.
Yeah, you got to. And speaking of the worst, Patrick Mahomes with maybe his it sounds crazy. He's lost the Super Bowl, but one of the lowest, I think, situations of his career. So Kadarius Toney lines up offsides. And if you ever watched any level of football, you see the wide receiver check with the ref. So Kadarius Toney did not do that. Ridiculous play that would have won the ball game, where Patrick Mahomes throws the ball to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce laterals it almost across the field to Kadarius Toney, who runs it in, and it gets called back because of an offensive offsides, which you don't typically see because the wide receiver normally checks in with the referee, and Kadarius Toney did not. And when the game ends, they shake hands. This is what Patrick Mahomes had to say to Josh Allen when they shook hands.
I've never seen, man. Offensive offsides in that moment, man. Terrible.
So if you know how it looks, it's a big group, right? It's a big group of people, and you're shaking hands, and everything is happening quickly, right? And Patrick Mahomes is saying this to Josh Allen as if, one, Josh Allen cares.
Totally.
And two, as if he can do something. And I got to be honest, Patrick Mahomes is getting destroyed for this. But in this moment, I told you that I am the ultimate complainer. I mean, I will Yelp about a restaurant. I will Yelp about
No, you're
anything.
a Yelper?
I am a Yelper.
No.
And I'm a complainer. And when I'm in the mood, I will complain to whoever is near me, even if I know that person can't help me. And I think Patrick Mahomes was so blinded by anger and rage, right, for something that is his own team's fault. So the referees, they came out and they gave a statement. They said, hey, number one, you check in with us and we'll tell you. Number two, we couldn't even see because your boy, Kadarius Toney, was too far offsides. So it wasn't even like they were nitpicking. They said they could not see the ball because of how far Toney was offsides. And not just Patrick Mahomes. Not just Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid said it was terrible too, which is incredible to me to not take. And I think that Patrick Mahomes normally does the good coach speak or player speak, and Andy Reid normally does the coach speak. I don't know if they hadn't seen it. People are saying, look, by the time Andy Reid got back and did his post-game presser, he definitely saw. So for them to come out and put this all on the refs, it just says to me, again, to bring this back to the Niners, this is the Niners' year, man. I mean, unless Lamar Jackson and the Ravens really turn it on or the Bills use this to catapult up, the AFC is in shambles, okay? You have Patrick Mahomes throwing his helmet, and he's a worst call ever. I'm trying to do a Kermit sound, but it's not coming out right now, and it's just rough. It's just rough, but I'm telling you, Simone, you know I like my reality TV.
Yes, I do too.
So I don't know about you, but me and Chris realized that we both still watch
The Challenge,
yes,
right? I was here for that.
So last week on The Challenge, I won't say who for anybody who's still watching, somebody got voted in. They got voted in to have to do the one-on-one battle, right? The arena.
Yeah.
This season is called the arena. So they get voted in, and they're just asking anybody, they're just complaining to anybody that will listen, who started the vote? Who voted for me? Who voted for me? And the people are saying, hey, I'm not going to sell out who voted for you. And they're just talking to they're just complaining. You know, everyone's just playing scared. You said you're going to play a real game. You're playing a scared game. And you're just complaining to anybody that'll listen. And that's what was Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes will probably issue an apology at some point today.
Oh, he's going to get a fine too, right? He's going to get a fine, I think.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, he said it to Josh Allen. And he said more in the press conference, maybe, right? But they're so blinded by them thinking that they're right that I don't think they'll care. But now I would assume Patrick Mahomes probably has Josh Allen's number. He'll probably text Josh Allen and say, hey, man, that's my bad. You guys did your thing. But I'm sorry, as much as people are getting on Patrick Mahomes, and it was a bad look, I have been in that situation where I'm just so upset that I need to complain to anybody that'll listen, knowing that you cannot help me. I know you can't help, but I got to get this off my chest. And here's the other thing. And I feel like this in other sports too. There were a couple weeks ago, there was a weird scuffle between two college basketball coaches in the handshake thing. Mm-hmm. Baseball is the only sport off the top of my head where they do not shake hands at all.
Yeah.
At all. And even in college, we shook hands after the series was over. Right? We didn't shake hands after every game. You shake hands with your own team. So I don't know if this is where a lot of people are taking it, but I'd even say, why are we still shaking hands? We don't have to. I remember the whole thing with LeBron when he lost something and he didn't shake hands. Everybody said, what a bad role model. Why do you need to shake hands? Anyway, but I think it was a bad look for Patrick Mahomes, but it just gave me flashbacks, and I can't even give you a good example.
Do you feel better after you complain to someone who can't help you? Do you feel better? Legit?
Not really. Not really. Because then I just feel like I'm just embarrassing myself. And I do feel like that's probably how.
I was going to also ask really quickly before we get out of here. Do people clap back at you when it is someone who can't help you and you've said your piece and then they've never had like a little funny retort back?
No. No, not at all. I mean, it's like if you get passed up for a promotion or, you get, some people unfortunately get laid off and you just need to complain.
Yeah.
Right? To anybody that'll listen. But complaining to, it's different because that's like complaining to the person that got the promotion.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, totally.
You got picked over me. I mean, worst call I've ever heard. Worst decision, man. What are they supposed to say? Well, it benefited me. You could say congrats.
Right.
There you go. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, talking Kings and Nets. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Save Mart, and Smart & Final, or a local grocery store near you.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no accounts to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Don't you just love this time of year and the holidays when families get together to make memories? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters. Those are memories that will live with me forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now gives you the opportunity to find the perfect holiday gift that will last a lifetime. You'll find unique gifts like gleaming accessories for every room, now 20% off. During Naturewood's Holiday Home Sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Discover Roseville's hidden gem, Timbers at the Lodge, nestled in the Timber Creek Golf Course. Savor a culinary journey where every bite tells a story. We serve breakfast 7 days a week with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m., where you can relax on the outdoor patio next to our newly renovated and expanded putting green. Thursdays always feature our $28 prime rib dinner. Reservations encouraged. Learn more at timbersatTheLodge.com. We look forward to welcoming you to Timbers at the Lodge, where exceptional food meets great times. Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
They send Debo inside of Brandon Ayuk right, Kittle inside of Jawan Jennings left, and McCaffrey goes in motion, that bumper motion out right. Blitz from Bobby Wagner, they pick it up. Deep shot, Brock Purdy's going downfield for Debo! Touchdown! San Francisco!
Debo Samuel on a burner post, and Brock Purdy just does a great job.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Just Stiles today, Watkins enjoying a much-deserved day off. And we do have Simone behind the glass. Simone, there was some rumors in the streets. You were going to go smooth jazz on us?
I think they're being complimentary that my voice would be well-received on a smooth jazz station. And no, I am proud to say I am still locked in here at Sactown Sports.
There you go. Good to have you. And we're getting a little bit spicy here on the text line as well. If you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. As last segment, we talked about yelping. And I admitted that I was a yelper because we were talking about Patrick Mahomes complaining to someone that could not help him. Not only could not help him, complaining to someone that benefited from what Patrick Mahomes felt was a bad call. So at first, I thought this was maybe a bit from a texter, but it turns out I think they're being honest here. And this is from the 916. I hate to say this, Alan, but I have lost some respect for you.
Oh,
you
no.
going on Yelp and complaining can cost somebody their job. People have kids to feed. I've heard you mess up, and I've never called to complain about you. Well, 916, where do I start? I love this, because where do I start? First of all, you don't know what I'm complaining about when I Yelp. I could be complaining about the food, right? I could be complaining about, sure, the person or my server, right? Why do you think Yelp exists? Yelp exists so people can know what to expect. If, especially in this economy, you have kids to feed, so do I. If I'm spending my hard-earned money to go somewhere and that place stinks, I want to let people know. So why wouldn't I Yelp? If somebody's going to lose their job, it's probably not from one Yelper. It's probably from multiple. So be better at your job. If I continue to mess up and ratings stink, I won't be here anymore. That's how it works. So why wouldn't you just sit there and you have a terrible experience somewhere and you just wear it? Or you just say secretly, I'm not going to go there? Where does it end? Where does it end? So are you not allowed to tell your friends, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you I had a bad experience here because I don't want that person to lose their job? Are you serious? Are you serious?
The worst part is I still tip too. I still tip too.
And we still tipped. People have kids to feed. So do I. So do the people that go there and spend their hard-earned money. But I can't tell you that I sat there, right? And I saved my money up to take out my kids. And this restaurant stunk. The pizza was cold. The servers were slow. And I'm not allowed to alert other people of my experience because the people that stunk have kids to feed. Give me a break. Are you serious? I don't know if you work in the restaurant business, but that's a terrible business model. That's ridiculous. Are you serious? Come on, man.
I will say the only thing I still don't like Yelp reviewers, so I'm sorry. I'm not on your side for this. But I do think it's really funny that they said, like, hey, you make mistakes all the time, and I've never pointed it out until you're pointing it out right now.
I mean, it's just funny to me. Well, my question is this. Sure, go ahead and entering a Yelp Some people like to do it, some people don't. But either way, right? What is the difference between that and so you go somewhere and let's say it's a terrible experience.
Yes.
You just say, I'm just not going to go back. And you don't feel like you should tell other people. But if somebody were to ask you, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Simone, how did you like XYZ restaurant?
Sure. And the
What would you
spoken
say?
word
What would you
of
say?
the feedback, I'm always honest. So that would be dependent on the
But you
experience.
can't because people have kids to feed.
No. I just think that we do need to address this really quickly. Do you leave positive reviews? I guess the
course I
connotation,
do.
okay. See, the connotation is that maybe
Or I tip
Yelp
very
is being
well. Or I
utilized
tip very well.
to only denounce restaurants or to denounce services that aren't going good.
The other thing is not, I can't speak for others. I don't get there and say names. I don't have somebody's name in my head and say, this server, Charlene or whatever their name is, was terrible and you should fire them. Nobody, I don't do that. I don't do that. Okay. And if it's not Yelp, it's the same with Google reviews. Okay. Here's my other question. And I will move on from this, but this is just so random to me. This is so random to me. When you decide I'm going to take my lady out, right? Or I'm going to take my guy out, right? When you decide to take them out, how do you decide where to go besides word of mouth? Don't you look at reviews? Don't you look at Google reviews before you spend your hard-earned money? What do? You just take a guess and you hope it's right? How do you think Google reviews get there?
Yeah.
This is absurd. This is absurd.
YouTube is cooking you too. It's really making me laugh over here.
I mean, it's fine. Go ahead, spend your money. Spend your money and
What is the ratio for every
but okay,
three bad reviews you leave one
I'm
good
not
one,
even
or
doing
is it?
It's only if I feel like I didn't get my money's worth because everything is overpriced now.
Yeah.
Right? Everything is overpriced. So take the Yelping. It's Google reviews too. When you guys decide you're about to spend a good amount of money on something, how do you decide what to do? You look up reviews. What are we talking about? How do you think they get there? Why does they're just soft. Oh, you think somebody's going to get fired because of one bad review where nobody even used their name?
I assure you, they're not getting fired. A lot of people are not getting fired.
This person is saying they're a mechanic or something. I mean, it's all good. I don't get that. I don't get that. Funny enough. Yeah. Like I said.
Have you ever worked in the service industry?
I did. I did. I worked at a country club while I was in college, and I was a server.
Did you ever receive negative feedback or complaints about your service?
But if they, not me personally, but if our manager would say, hey guys, you got to pick it up or you got to do this, you got to do that. You don't get fired from Yelp reviews unless there are multiple reviews.
You gained my respect again too because you've worked in the service industry. But yeah, Yelper is tough. Woof.
Hey. Okay, so what is the difference between a Yelper and Google reviews?
I'll categorize it as the same.
So you just don't ever. So when you decide you're going to go out with your significant other to a restaurant, you don't look at reviews?
No.
I'm not saying you click into it, but you see somewhere and right there, it's got the stars right there.
Yeah, I truly don't.
It's
I'm
word of
looking
mouth.
up like the hours and I'm going by word of mouth, what I already know. Yeah.
Okay.
You're shocked.
No, I mean, I'm not saying a deep dive. I'm not saying do your homework, but I'm saying
I really don't want to say this. You're giving a little Patrick Mahomes, you're giving a little Karen right now.
How do you figure? Am I on crazy pills here? Does everybody you're about to spend over $100 on a dinner and you just go?
Yes.
916-339-1140. How do you decide what restaurant? And it's not just food, hotels, anything that's a fairly large purchase, cars. You just live life without looking at reviews? Okay. All right. Fair enough. This is not where I saw this show going. All because of Patrick Mahomes. This is crazy to me. Huh.
We're going to have so much material to utilize after this.
Oh, my goodness.
YouTube, a lot of people split. We have Simone spitting. I'm with you, Stiles, Amadrog. Yeah, it's just all over the place now.
Put it on the YouTube.
We need a poll.
We need a poll. We need a poll.
I need exact verbiage.
The poll is.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm trying to, because it's not just food, right? Well, we can do a couple things. Do you look at reviews? Yes, there you go. Do you look at reviews before going to a restaurant? It could be anything. If you're listening, it could be anything. There you go.
All right. I'm going to get it locked in.
Got to get to a break. Now we have the overarching theme throughout the show. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we're talking Kings, Nets, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. I'll tell you what, I was just thinking, Simone, just Stiles today as Watkins is out for the day. He will be back tomorrow. Chris was in the Sac chat earlier. He doesn't seem to be in it anymore. He is missing quite the show. He's missing quite the show. I can't wait to tell him.
I would love to know his perspective.
No, I cannot wait.
It's got to be. He's got to be blind. No, he's going blindly into the restaurant,
Agreed.
Completely not looking at reviews.
Agreed. By the way,
he's never drafted a Yelp.
67% on the YouTube chat says that they do look at reviews before going to a restaurant.
Love to look at
33%
reviews.
says no, I love the surprise. Yeah, it's a surprise, all right. Surprise, all right. And now you still want a good tip, and now you still want look, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't leave reviews if you give me a discount every time something isn't what it should be. But unless you're giving me a discount, and I don't even leave them all the time, right? Look, I lived in Alameda for 2 years, and I really wanted to be a part of that community. So I left good reviews and not so good reviews, but it was always, I think, and we say the same thing in this line of work too. If somebody says, as I'm seeing on the text line now, you're an idiot, that doesn't help me, right?
Yeah.
If I Yelp and say, you guys stink, that doesn't help them.
Correct.
But if I say, hey, I came in, I thought I was going to be able to, I signed up for outside, you guys didn't have that available, it took a little bit long, blah, 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 and I tell them where they messed up, I'm pretty sure they would find that helpful.
That's feedback.
It also matters the type of reviews that you're leaving. And I would say, personally, that I'm leaving high-level reviews. And to Scooter 916's point, I always tip. That's part of the. I feel like I couldn't leave a review if I didn't tip. I tip the way I'm supposed to tip regardless. But you're going to hear about me if I don't think that it was up to snuff. That's just how I am. 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. And with all the sports going on in the world, we're talking Yelp and we're talking Google reviews. Let's get to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Good morning, my friend. Look at you running solo today. Running solo dolo.
Man,
this is nice, man.
it's I'm powering through. We've taken a weird left turn trying to get this thing back on track.
Are you missing your boy?
Of course I am. Of course. And once he finds out what is happening today, he might take another day off. He might take another day off.
Stay in Vegas.
Okay, real quick. Let me just try to move this along here, right? So I work in an industry. I spray bedliners. Okay, so I work in the truck industry. I spray bedliners.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that we get advertisement and in more business is by word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't advertise, we don't promote ourselves, we don't do any of that at all whatsoever. So really, our bread and butter is Google reviews and Yelp reviews.
Right.
Mainly, it's Google reviews because of the industry that I work in currently.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I am with you. I'm with you 100%. I feel like reviews are kind of important, man. I feel like that if you don't leave a review, and you have a bad service, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You're continuing to promote the bad behavior. You're continuing to allow the bad behavior, whatever it may be, to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't call someone out on their stuff, they're just going to keep continuing to do the same thing over and over again. And they're going home wondering why I only went home after working 8 hours and I got $12 in tips today. Well, Johnny, the reason why you got $12 in tips is because you just weren't on it, simply. You weren't making your rounds. You weren't making sure that your customers feel welcome at home, whatever. I'm kind of with you, my friend. I really am, man. I feel like reviews are mad important, especially if you actually provide a good service. Especially if you haven't provided good service. So, I mean, I just wanted to get in on this topic real quick, man. I've definitely am in your corner with that, my friend. I feel like reviews are extremely important.
Thank you, Steven. And thank you for the call, as always. And again, it's high level. It's good reviews, right? Good, even if it's a negative review. Not just, hey, this person stinks. I think they should be fine. No one's doing that. No one is doing that. They're all reviews because we're all in this together, and I don't want somebody else dealing with what I had to deal with. That's how I look at it. And if you are in the city that I live in, I want to be able to come back. I want to see you get better. Okay? That's just what it is. All right, as we continue, if you still want to have the conversation, you can call in. Right? This will be the overarching theme because we can do this because Chris isn't here.
Yes.
Right? It's like the parents are gone. So I can
big
do
substitute teacher vibes.
Substitute teacher vibes. So I can do what I want. You continue. And on the text line, on the YouTube chat, it's not really that surprising to me. Again, the idea that a negative review is just coming for somebody's job is ridiculous. If anything, you're trying to save their job. Honestly, you're trying to save their job. Just like Steven said, hey, Johnny Tsunami wasn't very good, right? I think he could do X, Y, Z. Okay. But then you don't just say that. You say where he did do well is X, Y, Z. And then hopefully that helps. Nobody is hopping on Yelp or Google and just saying this place is awful. This person should be fired. I rarely see that. And again, even if it's very similar to social media, Twitter. I know a lot of people have Twitter and they never tweet, right? You still look at Google reviews, even if you don't leave them, because it helps you. And people are saying hotels, cars, everything, right? They're necessary. You don't have to be a psycho about it, okay? But I would say that they're necessary. Nobody is trying to take anybody's job. You're just trying to make sure that if you go somewhere and they're charging you top dollar, you are getting what you deserve. All right, as we begin to talk Kings, who normally give us what we deserve, especially at home. They play pretty well at home, and they're taking on the Nets, and we hope that they have everybody leave them a good review after the game, because if there's a beam, there will be a good review. And the Nets, if we look at who they are, breaking them down, they are 8th in points per game. They're 7th in offensive rating. They are 18th in defensive rating. They're 9th in net rating. By the way, the Kings are 19th in net rating. I feel like that's lower than I have imagined, right? I think that I would think that they would be higher up on that list as far as net rating, and the Nets being the Nets being 9th is, I would say, something that you would have to respect. 8th in points per game, like I said. So, again, the Kings, it's all relative. Nobody's trying to disrespect the Nets when you look at who they have to bring to the table. But this is a game that the Kings, they really do need to win. Okay. And when you look at who they have coming up next, you can't drop games like this, especially at home. I saw something, and I can pull it up right now. The Kings have a lot of home games coming up. A lot of home games coming up. And although they won't all be against teams like the Nets, this is who they have, right? We talk about the run that the Kings need to go on, or when will that run happen? The Nets face the Kings tonight in Sacramento. Then the Kings have a back-to-back, and they play the Clippers, who they owe the Clippers a little something. That is tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. in LA. Then after that, the Kings come back home. They face the Thunder, who the Thunder, they're rolling, right? And they're another long team that the Kings were able to beat. That was back during the group play of the in-season tournament. But you got to shoot well. And the Kings shot very well the last time they played the Thunder. You got the Thunder on Thursday the 14th. Then you have the Jazz at home on the 16th. You have to win that game. Then after that, December 18th, you get the Wizards. Another game I would say you have to win, because after that, this is where it gets sticky that we talked about at the beginning of the show. The Celtics at Kings, that's December 20th. That'll be a great game. Then right after that, that Friday, that's the game I will be in the building as a fan for the first time. Suns at Kings with a back-to-back that Friday, Saturday. After they play the Suns, right after that, they play the Timberwolves. So those 3 games,
gritty.
That's tough. That is tough. And that is why, and a couple weeks ago here, when the Kings got blown out by the Pelicans, and people were saying, hey, if you look at the bigger picture, and Chris was saying, this is not okay, right? It's because you're going to have these stretches where it's not going to be okay. You're going to have these stretches where you face some really tough opponents. So you're not trying to disrespect the Nets, right? I know the Clippers, that's going to be tough on the back-to-back. That's the second time now the Clippers have gotten the Kings on the second half of back-to-back. So the Clippers have gotten a little bit lucky when facing the Kings. But after that, you get the Thunder, who are nothing to sneeze at, and you get the Jazz and the Wizards. To me, you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before you start that mini gauntlet with the Celtics, Suns, and Timberwolves. It sounds crazy, but it would be nice to go 4-1 there. It would be really nice. And what I'm saying is, you can lose that game in LA to the Clippers. But besides that, you got to have the Nets. I know it's tough, but you got to have the Thunder. You got to have the Jazz, and you got to have the Wizards. If you drop one to the Thunder, cool. But it's just tough because the Celtics, and they're coming across country. But I do think that they're going to have some things to say as it pertains to wanting to be in that conversation. And the Celtics coming off a loss in the knockout round of the in-season tournament. And people may be thinking, okay, what do they have left? What do the Celtics look like when it actually matters? And speaking of, we did have somebody as well, and this is going to bleed into the next segment as we're coming up against it. But you have somebody in Gilbert Arenas who had some things to say about Klay Thompson. And the reason I think that this is important is because I think the same could be a little bit connected to Keegan Murray. And the conversation is about improving as a player and expanding as a player and the differences in both. So we will get to that after the break. Quickly, did want to bring up the Kings. Malik Monk is sick, and Colby Jones is questionable with a back. So they're both questionable tonight against the Nets, and Alex Len is still out. So if Malik doesn't play, who needs to step up? When we get back, we will have that sound from Gilbert Arenas talking about Klay Thompson and how it can connect to really all players, but specifically Keegan Murray. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
TruckSmart knows truck and SUV owners love gifts for their vehicles. Whether it's a work truck or a daily driver, TruckSmart can help you make them happy this holiday season. Truck steps, trailer hitches, toolboxes, suspension products, off-road gear, and more. TruckSmart stocks the right products that fit and last for years. Need help with an install? Trained techs are on hand to get it done right. For 35 years, TruckSmart has been the source for great products and service. Visit TruckSmart today in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart, your truck's gonna love them.
Staples and HP want you to have a happy Holla deal. That's right, Holla deal. Now during Staples Holla deals, you can save up to $115 on the HP Smart Tank 6001 all-in-one printer with up to 2 years of original HP ink right in the box. Plus, find savings of up to 40% on select HP computers and monitors. Happy Holla deals from Staples and HP, America's most trusted printer brand. Smart Tank offer ends 12/23. HP Tech offers end 1/6/24. Visit staples.com/HP for details.
This is Kenny and Jerry from Bell Brothers Plumbing, Heating, and Air. If you're thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system, now's the perfect time to take action.
It's Bell Brothers' end of the year blowout, and it's happening now. We've got a limited number of high-efficiency furnace, AC, and heat pump systems in our warehouse.
And we're offering $2,750 off qualifying systems if you buy between now and the end of the year.
No gimmicks, no games, just a great price for buying now. If you got a quote elsewhere, we'd be happy to give you a second opinion.
This is one of our best discounts of the year, but you have to hurry. When the systems are gone, the sale is over.
Call Bell Brothers for details and get up to $2,750 off any qualifying high-efficiency furnace, AC, or heat pump system.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's happening for Chrysler's Wrap Up the Year sales event?
This month, you can save up to $16,500 off MSRP on 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs. With over 600 new Ram trucks available, your perfect new truck is waiting for you at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Plus, no payments for 90 days.
But what about the last of those Dodge Chargers and Challengers?
This month, save up to $5,000 off MSRP and get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2023 Dodge Charger SXTs and Challenger GTs. With no payments for 90 days.
This savings and financing won't last long. Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. Period. $16,500 total net savings after 10,261 factory rebates and 6,239 dealer discount. Sample VIN 699,991. Rebates include 1,000 case equipment cash. Must have purchased qualifying case equipment from authorized dealer and 500 first responder cash for members of eligible First Responder Association only. No payments for 90 days on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 5,000 total net savings after 5,000 dealer discount. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Equals $1,389 per thousand borrowed. 10% savings. See dealer for details.
Some might call me obsessed, but if you shop for holiday gifts at Kohl's, you get it. With their friends and family sale, I got 25% off already great deals, like 40% off comfy tech gear activewear. Then I saved 30% on Lego building sets, 30% on cozy Koolaburra by UGG bedding, and earn Kohl's cash. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious why I love Kohl's, and why you'll love it too. Select styles, Lego and Koolaburra by UGG. Coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. Offers end December 17th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic #2 combo meal spreads cheer with a farm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Only Stiles today. Chris Watkins will be back tomorrow, and we miss him. We miss him, but we are powering through as we talk Kings, Niners, and Yelp reviews and Google reviews as we have a poll going. And if you're just now joining how we got here, which I think is a very important thing in case my bosses are listening. How did you get here? Patrick Mahomes complaining to Josh Allen and to anybody that'll listen, which brought us down the road of Yelp reviews, and someone on the text line called me out for being a Yelper. And here we are. And we have something real quick, Simone. This one goes out to you from the 714. This guy, I think they're talking about me. This guy needs to show Simone some respect. You aren't running solo today. You got the best number 2 in the business.
Aww.
Simone is already the dog of the day.
That is so sweet. Shout out.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
That's right. And Simone,
Put
you
some
have been
respect
doing
on it.
No, you've been doing a great job. All right, you've been doing a
Appreciate
great job. I will continue to give Simone her flowers, and you can continue to give Simone her flowers, and I'll read them off because you're right. When you are doing a show, I should say, without my co-host, okay, it is very important for the producer to be able to hop in and help out and give me a breather sometimes. And Simone has done an outstanding job, especially when we're talking Yelp, and the phone lines have been out of control talking about this Yelp review situation as it pertains to Patrick Mahomes complaining to somebody that cannot help him. From the 510, not looking at reviews is like drafting a top 3 quarterback and not looking at game film. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, 510. From the 916, the problem with reviews is they almost always reflect an extreme on either side of negative or positive.
Yes.
They don't reflect the 95% of the average to moderate experiences
That is so
that we
true.
have with restaurants or services. So they are very skewed to the extreme. I think that makes a lot of sense from the 916. Yeah, sometimes you'll see reviews and I just ignore them, but it'll be like something that doesn't actually make sense, or parking was hard or something like that that has nothing to do with the restaurant, and all of a sudden you messed up their rating. So I get that. I'm talking about high level here, a P1 Yelper. All right, 916-339-1140. Get out to Michael, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Michael? What you got for us?
You definitely need to be yelping on, especially some of those people out there that be ripping people off and such. You know, like some of these auto recyclers and stuff. I just had one that told me he was taking an engine that had X amount of miles on it. And I said, okay, hey, I'll go ahead and put that engine in because it has X amount of miles on it. Gave him the premium for those miles. Stuck it in my Mercedes, and not even a week goes by, and I have to spend another $3,000 to $4,000 because the engine he gave me did not have the miles that he said it had on it. Then he says, "Oh, I got the engine from somebody else." So I'm definitely going to be yelping on that. So there's some of these extremes when people just rip you off. You got to say something.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just letting other people get set up to be ripped off.
Exactly, Michael.
Vice versa. You do have those out there, people that are doing it right. So you need to shout out when it goes right as well. So just don't, be only negatives. You got to be shouting out when people are doing things right, too.
There you go. No, thank you, Michael. That's a great point. And look, if you go on my social media, I just shouted out, not an official sponsor yet, but I just shouted out a spot in downtown Sacramento that I went to with my family after the Santa Parade. If you were at the Santa Parade, thank you for being there. Where I went for brunch, and we had a great brunch there, right? And it was really good food, great ambiance, right? They were very accommodating to the little one. We had to feed the little one while we were waiting. They let us go outside in their outside area and feed her, and then we got to eat. So it was perfect. And what did I do? I put them on my Twitter. I put them on my Instagram, and I said, shout out to this spot. So it always works both ways. And maybe I thought that was obvious. Maybe there's some people that only do negatives, but I like positives because I like people to think that I'm a foodie. And the only way you do that is by leaving positive reviews as well. As we continue the conversation, thank you, Michael, for the call. As we continue to talk Klay Thompson and Gilbert Arenas. So Gilbert Arenas is one of these guys. We talk about how these athletes, there's so many athlete podcasts out. Gilbert Arenas has got to be in the top 3. I mean, Gilbert Arenas, he is, whether you like him or not, he's always putting out content. So most recently, he's talking about Desmond Bain, but he uses Klay Thompson as a comparison to say Klay never updated or his game never improved. So here's the sound.
Casuals don't understand that, like somebody like Klay Thompson, when I said he never improved to me, right? You came into as a spot shooter, and even though you have 4 championships, you're still a spot shooter, right? Versus someone who's like, okay, they might need me to do something else, and I need to have that skill set.
I mean, I agree with Gilbert if they ever asked Klay to do something else, right? I don't think we necessarily need to go through what Klay Thompson was asked to do in his career. The Splash Brothers became the Splash Brothers. Klay was not only a spot-up shooter, he was the wing defender on that team who he would defend Kyrie. He would defend that best scorer from the guard or wing position. So you have that. You win the championship. Then you lose after the best regular season of all time. And then after that, you get Kevin Durant. So I've said the same thing about Draymond. Draymond, offensively, he was a different guy. If you remember that Game 7, Draymond, there was actually conversation about Draymond getting MVP of the finals because Draymond balled out in that Game 7. He could shoot, get to the rack. Then you got Kevin Durant. And as good as Kevin Durant and that team was, there was no need for Klay Thompson to improve, right? Draymond shot less. I got Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Steph on the team. Why would I shoot? Right? So I hear what Gilbert Arenas is saying, and I would say it's different with the Grizzlies because you have Ja Morant coming back and Desmond Bane has an opportunity to expand. But not only did Klay Thompson not necessarily need to expand, he's also one of the best in the history of the game at his role. You don't necessarily need to expand if you're really good at your role. How often do we see NBA players at camps, right? And they say, you need to find your role. You're not just going to be out here with a bag, dancing and boogieing on people. If you're lengthy and, maybe your lateral quickness is whatever, you got to figure it out. You got to be a vertical threat. Okay. You got to be a 3-and-D guy. They put you into categories because not everybody can just be that dude. Okay. And Klay Thompson was never asked to be that dude. I think Gilbert Arenas has more of an argument if they don't get Kevin Durant and let's say they regress and they never win any more championships. Okay, but that's not what happened. They got Kevin Durant. We got Simone here who's doing a great job with the music. Let's take this to a music landscape, right? So what's hot right now? Reggaeton is hot right now, and Afro beats is hot right now. Yeah. So people that are in certain buckets that do a really, really good job in those buckets. I think that music is really interesting because we want people to expand, but then if you don't like it, you say, I miss the old blank. I miss the old Drake. I miss the old Taylor Swift. I miss the old someone, whoever. So how do you expand, but then at the same time, it could take away from what you're doing? And who are we starting to see that with? Keegan Murray. Now, Keegan Murray, only very young, but we're seeing that this is what happens. They're asking Keegan Murray to do certain things, and he is regressing in other areas as of right now, shooting the basketball. He is not shooting at the same clip. Is it his legs? Is it in his head? What is it? Is it because he's defending the best guy on the other team? But not, and we're going to see if Keegan can be that guy, but not everybody can. So instead of being that guy, Klay Thompson just became one of the best spot-up shooters and defenders before injury that we've ever seen. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So not everybody has to be able to do everything. If you have one of your favorite country artists, right, and all of a sudden they come out with a rap album because they're just trying to expand what they do, you're going to say, what is this? Remember when Lil Wayne dropped that rock album in like the early 2010s?
Yes.
He was experimenting, and what did everybody say? I want the old Wayne back. I want the old Wayne.
Keep it.
But at the same time, you want people, oh man, this sounds like all of his other stuff. Well, which is it? Sometimes you can't have both, right? Sometimes you just have somebody that's really, really good at one thing or a couple things. And for Gilbert Arenas, so what would you rather be? Let's say Desmond Bane I don't know what Desmond Bane is going to become. Okay, but you have Desmond Bane who, okay, now he's expanded his game, and Desmond Bane is just a really nice player on a team that doesn't win anything. Okay, we say it on the show all the time. Jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not saying Desmond Bane is going to be a master of none, but this idea that Klay Thompson did his team a disservice when all he did, there are guys that are in the same bucket as Klay Thompson that could not hold Klay Thompson's socks to go into the locker room. Right? So I don't understand why Gilbert Arenas is coming down that lane and saying that Klay Thompson never improved his game. He did, though. He did. Look at his splits. Look at the All-Stars, right? Being a part of those championship teams. Did he expand his game? No, but I feel like you have a decision. How many guys are we talking about in the league that have the ability to improve and expand their game? There's not many. I mean, did Russell Westbrook ever expand his game? I don't think so, right? It kind of came back to bite him a little bit. He also regressed as a shooter, but there are so many guys. Giannis, every season, Giannis makes a three, right, in a game, and what do the announcers say? If Giannis can start hitting this, I mean, league, look out. Well, they've been saying it, okay? Ben Simmons hasn't expanded his game, right? A lot of these guys, you just get put into categories. So not everybody is going to be that superstar that just has the ability to do everything. And I have no clue what Desmond Bane is going to be. But if you ask people, would you rather have a Klay Thompson who at his peak was Klay Thompson was a top 3 two-way player. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have a guy who might improve to a certain extent and be, I don't know, a top 25 all-around player or a top 10? I know what this guy brings to the table. How many years have the Lakers been trying, because Klay Thompson's dad played for the Lakers, how many years have they tried to get Klay to LA? They don't care that he hasn't improved his game. You know why? Because he's really good at specifically what he does. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we ask the question that I posed a little bit earlier. Are we being unfair to Harrison Barnes? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
We can be heroes.
You've seen Cody Lee not once, but twice on America's Got Talent. And now is your chance to see him live at Gold Country Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see America's Got Talent winner, Cody Lee, January 20th at 8 p.m. Only at Gold Country Casino Resort.
This show is open to all ages. Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy, at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. No Watkins today. He is slowly but surely coming back from Las Vegas, enjoying his time, enjoying his Vikings victory.
Oh, I wanted it to be 0-0 so
Why?
bad. So bad.
Why?
Did you know this about Watkins? He hates no-nos and he hates perfect games.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So him being there was the most hilarious thing to me. I was harassing him yesterday, poor guy, while he was out there trying to enjoy his team. The fact that he was there for that kind of historic, scoreless game brought a lot of joy into my life.
Wow. Well, that's not very nice.
Sorry.
We will hear all about it tomorrow from Chris. And unfortunately, yeah, I mean, there's certain things that you just can't do if you are trying to win over a position, right? And I think Antonio Pierce started out hot, got that W, and I think that a lot of people were rooting for him. And no, he's not the offensive coordinator, but putting up a donut in an NFL game in the year of 2023 is one of those things that you kind of can't do. So I don't know what's going to happen next, but that is one of the things that how is that even? I really don't know how that's possible. And you didn't do it against the Cleveland Browns, right? You did it against the Vikings, and the Vikings couldn't score either. Let's see.
We did have a little bit of a problem with Justin Jefferson going down early.
I know. Justin Jefferson went down early.
It was unconscionable. I couldn't believe it.
So Justin Jefferson goes down early, right? Here you go. This is from a couple days ago. Total defense. The Vikings are 13th in total defense. So they're not terrible, but you're at home. You can't even get a field goal.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
You can't get a field goal. And the Raiders, who a lot of people are happy with that defense, this is through week 13, by the way. The Raiders, that defense, they're ranked 20th. So, I mean, the Vikings, they're cycling through QBs, just trying to shuffle the deck. Meanwhile, the Raiders, I mean, the Vikings, again, 13th, not terrible at all, right? Upper half of the league, but I mean, 3 points. You can't kick a field goal, really, especially when the other team isn't scoring. I mean, Devontae Adams, we've said it before, but Devontae Adams, I don't want to call it career suicide, but you got to get out of there, man. You got to. And I don't know. I understand why they didn't move him, but it's over now. It's over now. I'm just confirming how old Devontae Adams is, but it's over now. He's 30. So you still have time. You still have time to bounce back. He's 30 years old. As we talk Kings and Nets, we have an article that just came out from Shams via The Athletic, where Shams goes on to say that the Hawks, Kings, and yes, you're not going to believe this next name, the Pacers are expected to pursue Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby. That is per Shams. Here is the beginning of the article. As buyers and sellers slowly reveal themselves, teams are keeping close tabs on the Toronto Raptors and Chicago Bulls. Raptors president and vice chairman Masai Ujiri and general manager Bobby Webster have stuck with their talented core of Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and OG Anunoby over the past 3 seasons. But Toronto has lost 3 games in a row and stands 9-13 on the season, and has left teams believing that now more than ever, either Siakam or OG could be traded by the February 8th deadline. Last segment, we just talked about Keegan Murray. The reason they've been able to hold on to these guys is because Masai has decided that they are going to be very, very expensive. So let's just have the conversation now. 916-339-1140. I'm not going to have the untouchable conversations because I feel like the same names will come up and there will always be some questionable names. So I'm going to ask it in this way. You can text in, you can be on the SAC chat, the YouTube chat, or you can call in. Are you willing to move Keegan Murray for OG Anunoby or Pascal Siakam? Because, and I believe Chris would agree with me on this deal does not get done, and you are not getting either of those guys and holding on to Keegan. I just don't think it happens. I'm actually a bit positive that it doesn't happen. If you look at the Kings' assets, unless you're going the Sabonis route, right? And if you're Masai and you want a younger core, who knows if that's somebody that they would be interested in over Keegan? I don't know. But we know that price tag is going to be high. So the question now is, are you willing to move off Keegan to get one of these guys? Because I am almost positive that's what it's going to cost. I don't see how this gets done without it. I don't. So don't call in here saying Davion and Harrison for Pascal. I'll tell you what, Masai won't even pick up the phone. He won't. Don't call in here saying Davion, Herter. You know what he wants. Just like Marshawn, you know why I'm here. Okay? There's a reason these guys are still in Toronto, because the asking price has been ridiculous. So this is not going to happen without Keegan. There is no way. I just don't see it. Amid Rock from the SAC chat, no move for Keegan. Beamer, Beams, or Beamley. Keegan stays. Also, heck no, adds Beamer, Beams, or Beamley. That's fine. That's fine. That's all good. But you're not getting one of those guys without moving Keegan. I just don't see it. If Sabonis is maybe in the conversation, maybe if that entices Masai, I don't know. But I would imagine, why not just go younger, right? And go from there. I understand, because I don't know that multiple guys will get moved. I don't know that they will move. I don't know that they will move Pascal and OG, but I do think one of them will be gone, and then they would just decide to move forward with the other guy, or maybe they completely blow it up, right? I would think that they would like to hang on to one, and part of the reason is I think Masai is going to make that price tag so high that there aren't going to be 2 teams willing to give up what it's going to take in order to get it done. From the 916, oh, wow. Keegan is Barnes 2.0. Trade him.
Wow.
That is from the 916.
Wow.
Keegan is Barnes 2.0. Trade him. Well, that's a little bit different than what we've been seeing on the SAC chat, but I don't see how you get one of those guys, right? And look, tough moves need to be made in order to make things work. Keegan Murray is a guy who has a lot of potential. I believe so. And we compared him to Klay Thompson a little bit a couple segments ago. I've seen some of the moves that Keegan has been able to do, and when he gets in his bag, that he's continuing to grow. And Keegan is not obvious. I'm not going to compare him as a shooter to Klay Thompson, but as far as offensive weaponry, Keegan, I believe, will have more offensive moves than Klay Thompson. Will he ever shoot as well as Klay Thompson consistently? I don't know. So that's what I look like what I see when I look at the ceiling for Keegan Murray. The question is, are you willing to take that chance or move Keegan to get somebody you know? So then you have a legit big 3, right? And you have that defensive guy in OG, and you still have Malik Monk, and hopefully you still have Kevin Huerter. I think if Keegan is involved, the question is who else is involved? Because you cannot – I think if you lose Keegan and Huerter, that's a problem, right? The question becomes, what is Keegan's value right now on the market? All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we talk to Jeff Young, editor at Around the Foghorn, to talk Giants. I know we were having a great time, and now we got to talk Giants, but it's got to be done. Jeff Young, great stuff. We will hear from him when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because you know, mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Ingersoll Rand, and Metaltech in-store or at northerntool.com.
Get ready for holiday feast season with Pepto-Bismol.
Uncle Derek's here with his famous fried turkey. Hey, Aunt Mary brought the mac and cheese. Donna's here with the potato salad.
Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for unexpected stomach upsets. So enjoy the holidays. Pepto has you covered, no matter who made the potato salad.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you got last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day, available in both lab-grown and natural minds.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Well, hello there. It's Santa Claus, and I'm checking my list to see who's been naughty or nice.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Santa. About that list, I've been a little bit naughty this year.
Oh, my. Naughty boys get a lump of coal in their stocking, you know.
Yeah, lump of coal. But guess what, Santa? Elk Grove Kia came to the rescue.
Elk Grove Kia? What do they have to do with your naughty deeds?
Well, Santa, they gave me a great deal on a new Kia, the highest-rated mass-market vehicle in J.D. Power's U.S. dependability study.
What?
No lump of coal for me this year, old man.
A Kia, you say?
Yeah,
Well, what about your challenged credit?
Well, Santa, unlike you, Elk Grove Kia doesn't judge guys like me. They looked beyond my troubled past and still sold me a fine new Kia. Look.
Well, I never...
Sorry, Santa, but Elk Grove Kia has your sled beat this year. So while you're busy with the lumps of coal, I'll be cruising in style in my new Kia.
Okay, I suppose Elk Grove Kia is on the nice list this year.
Naughty or nice, Elk Grove Kia believes everyone deserves a second chance. Elk Grove Kia, spreading joy, one car at a time, in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com. KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. It's just Stiles today. One more hour. It's been a fun show. Thank you for everybody who's been a part of it so far. Still got an hour with you. Still got the dog segment at 1:30, so you're not going to want to miss that. And again, it's just me and Simone today. So if you want to call in to be a part of your dog segment and tell us who you think the dog is going to be, please call in. Please send us a text. Please join the Sac Chat. And the Sac Chat is growing day by day. I want to give a shout out to the YouTube chat that we have named the Sac Chat. That was last week. So shout out to the Sac Chat and continuing to keep this thing rolling as we keep this thing rolling with Jeff Young, editor at Around the Foghorn, who Jeff, if you do not follow Jeff on social media, specifically Twitter, you have to if you are a Giants fan. He always has great stuff. Jeff, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining us on the show.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm doing well. How are you guys doing today?
You know, Jeff, I've been better. My Saturday was off to a great start, went to a Santa parade, and then I saw something on my phone. Shohei Ohtani is going to the Dodgers. $700 million over the next 10 years, and the NL West continues to get stronger. What were your initial thoughts when you saw Shohei? Were you surprised?
No, not necessarily. I mean, him going to the Dodgers was something that the Dodgers prepared for well before this season. I mean, it was an open secret that was where he wanted to land. And of course, the Dodgers put out a deal for 10 years and $700 million, which I don't know what would be your first purchase when you make something like that. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily a surprise. I think it was always going to be the Dodgers all along, although the Blue Jays would have been a nice fit. I know they were in a mix as well.
Jeff, real quick, if Shohei doesn't have that injury, what are we talking about in terms of a contract? Do you think he lost anything from the injury? Could we have seen $800 million if he wasn't injured? Or do you think he just didn't lose that much value or perceived value, even though he had the arm injury and can't even pitch this next upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, I think the belief is that he didn't really lose a ton of money in free agency. I mean, $700 million. How much more can you realistically go with a pitcher, with a player? There's got to be concern down the road as to how long he'll be able to pitch. Pitchers coming back from 2 Tommy John surgeries, the career span at that point is pretty short. So I think the Dodgers are realistic that he's probably going to be a DH only by the end of this contract, but this is a contract that's going to generate plenty of cash flow for the Dodgers. I mean, it's something that's it's not going to necessarily sell itself, but the Dodgers are going to make a lot of money in terms of marketing revenue, TV revenue, all of that because of Ohtani.
Talking to Jeff Young, editor at Around the Foghorn, and Jeff, I've seen some different takes on this, and personally, this doesn't hurt as much as Aaron Judge, even though once it all got revealed, Aaron Judge didn't even hurt that much once we knew that the Giants didn't really have a shot. And what I'm seeing here, and it's a bit contradicting in terms of different Giants media members and just Giants fans, is where Farhan fits on this and the blame that Farhan should get. What is your take on where Farhan Zaidi falls in this particular situation when we have Buster Only and different guys coming out saying that the Giants weren't even a finalist? What are your thoughts on Farhan and the missing, if you can even call it that, on Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't truly players. They were in the mix because of the spending ability of their big market team. I think where the accountability lies with Farhan Zaidi is the fact that, he's put together this roster. This roster is his, iteration at this point. He's been in charge for 5 years. So it's not necessarily that the Giants lost out on Ohtani this offseason, but just the decisions that they've made in the past 5 years that have led up to this point to get a roster that's really outside of Logan Webb is really kind of stale, for lack of a better phrase. I think there's accountability there that lies in Farhan Zaidi in the front office in that regard. It was always going to be tough for the Giants to compete with the Dodgers because the Dodgers just offer so many, not just the financial component, but the non-financial, such as the ability to compete on an annual basis that they've proven year after year. The Giants, when you look at it, it's crazy when you think that they've only had one winning season since 2017. I mean, it's hard to sell free agents on the ability to compete when they haven't competed themselves. So I think if you look at this current iteration of the roster and the fact that it hasn't competed, I think there is some blame to be assessed to somebody like Zaidi because he's put this roster together. Whether the ownership group was willing to go to $700 million to compete with the Dodgers, I don't know if we'll ever get the full story on that. So I mean, they're probably accountable for this as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was always going to be the Dodgers.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, right? You can blame Farhan for being in the position, but I'm not blaming him for – I'm blaming him because they weren't a thought based on what the Giants have been doing, right? I mean, if you are trying to sell Shohei, what was even the pitch? What was the pitch to Shohei if you are the Giants, right? I mean – Patrick Bailey looks kind of good, and you can pitch alongside Logan Webb. And I'm not even trying to be funny here. I don't really know what you're trying to sell him on. I know that he wanted to stay on the West Coast. The only thing I thought that the Giants could possibly do is if they made the playoffs and maybe made some noise, you could sell Shohei on being the missing piece. But when you miss the playoffs, Shohei just left the team with a guy who's much better than anybody else on the Giants, and they couldn't make the playoffs in a lesser division. So why would he sign up to do that all over again?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the Giants or any team not named the Dodgers or even the Blue Jays, I think they'd have to sell him on the fact that he is the missing piece, that he's either going to be what brings them into contention or he's going to be the start of, turning the organization around. I mean, when some of these players like Bryce Harper signs with the Phillies, Manny Machado signs with the Padres, it's not like those teams were good at the time of the signing. So I think the Giants, specifically would have had to sell, Ohtani on that, like, hey, we're going to start something. If you sign here, we're going to try and take down the Dodgers. But, it's so hard. I mean, Ohtani and his camp were pretty clear and pretty consistent that he wanted to play for a competitor, and few teams can offer that quality more than the Dodgers. So, it would have been a tough sales pitch, and I think it was always going to be a tough sales pitch for Farhan Zaidi and ownership group. So that's just kind of where they're at right now.
Talking to Jeff Young, editor at Around the Foghorn. All right, Jeff, let's start to get a little bit optimistic here. What's next for the Giants?
Yeah. So, I mean, they did meet with the NPB star pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto yesterday. So they're clearly in the mix. He's somebody that they scouted heavily even before he was posted. There was a belief at one point this offseason that they were at least favorites or one of the top teams to land somebody like that. I think the Giants have to be realistic about how they can improve this roster in 2024. And it's got to be through the starting rotation. That's where they can build a competitive advantage. Because if you look at the rotations around the National League, I mean, some of the better teams in baseball, or some of the better teams in the National League, like the Braves, kind of have a rotation in the middle of the pack. You look at the Dodgers, they have more questions than answers in their rotation. So I think the Giants have to realize how they create an advantage is through the starting rotation. And that's going to, be supplementing it through free agency, whether it be Yamamoto or a guy like Blake Snell. They really need to add, at least in my opinion, 2 quality arms. So, I think that's just going to have to be how they try and compete in 2024. It's just pitching and defense. It sounds kind of old school, but that's really where the Giants have to be at, because they're not going to find, there's no other Shohei Ohtani in free agency. There's guys like Matt Chapman and Cody Bellinger who would be good, solid fits for the Giants, but they have their own, they have their own question marks as well. So I think that through the starting rotation is really where the Giants need to pivot going forward.
So, Jeff, you don't want to see the Giants, obviously not overpay, but would you want to add a Matt Chapman or Cody Bellinger, or do you just want to get pitching and see what the Giants have with their current lineup? Yeah,
I mean, Matt Chapman's going to be connected to the Giants until he signs, whether that is with the Giants or whether that's with another team. I think he would help improve the infield defense. The infield defense wasn't necessarily an issue last year, but it's one area that, if you're going to try and build a solid rotation, one way to support that is by putting on a good defensive team and realizing that a guy like Matt Chapman may not be, an offensive force. He might be somebody who, bats a little lower in the lineup, or he could be in the middle of the lineup for a team like the Giants. But really his value is going to come from his defense. And, he's been an excellent defender throughout his career. He's a 4-time Gold Glove winner. They're probably going to have to pay a lot of money, overpay, even to get a guy like him. But there's plenty of connections there. So it wouldn't be a bad fit. It wouldn't be a perfect fit. But I think you have to realize that, the bat has been declining for years. And that's probably something that might continue to happen. But, he offers excellent defense currently. And third base defense tends to age pretty well. He offers occasional power. And those are probably things that will continue to be strengths for him, even as his next contract goes through.
Jeff Young. Jeff, thank you so much for joining, man. We will talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. My pleasure. Always happy to chat Giants baseball.
There you go. That is Jeff Young, editor at Around the Foghorn. Again, follow him on Twitter. Follow him on X. Always has crazy stats when it comes to Giants baseball. And hopefully we won't have to dig that deep this upcoming season because the Giants will just have some of the old school stats that we remember, like home runs maybe and RBIs, and we don't have to go into all these different acronyms. So hopefully that works out for the Giants. And I do hope that they get somebody, whether it's Yamamoto or Blake Snell. You got to add to that pitching staff. And I would like a big bat too. I know Chapman may be looking more like a flash in the pan in terms of the bat, but maybe you just need a change of scenery. And look, a lot of people talk about the Giants and that ballpark, and even though they've changed the dimensions over the last couple of years and how hitters don't like going there, but maybe you get a guy who isn't trying to do too much and it could revive them, right? Doubles are okay too. We're all good with doubles, even though everybody likes a home run. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to talk Giants and Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win. Unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion, persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins taking up to 2 p.m. Thank you again to Jeff Young for joining us, editor at Around the Foghorn, to talk some Giants. You have Yamamoto, you have Blake Snell, you have Cody Bellinger, you have Matt Chapman. Those are the main names that we've been hearing. And again, I don't want to overpay, but it's also not my money. And if you're going to overpay, you get Cody Bellinger, who really had a reclamation situation in Chicago and has played well after having some injuries and the Dodgers moving off of him. So you get Cody Bellinger with a little bit of revenge on his mind, with a chip on his shoulder, face those Dodgers very often. I think that matters. I think that could be good. So I would do it. I would probably do Cody because you can put him at first base too. So I'd probably go Cody over Matt Chapman, but I'm a narrative guy and I like storylines. So that's really the main reason I would go in that direction. So we'll see what happens with the Giants. Bob Melvin, the Giants manager, went on, and this is before Ohtani signed, but he went on to say basically San Francisco is a star power town, and he says that Farhan understands that.
Hopefully something breaks here at some point in time, because I think there are a couple of guys at the top of the market that are probably holding up a lot of the signings, because when you sign somebody for that much money, you have to know how you can deploy it later. So I think a lot of the teams right now are kind of trying to assess this right now. But look, San Francisco's always been a star power town. When I grew up watching Willie Mays, right, and then the Barry Bonds and the Buster Posies, and it's a town that Steph Curry, Steve Kerr over there, Joe Montana was growing. It is a star power town. So I think Farhan understands that we need a little bit more of that. Hopefully we end up with one of these guys at the top of the market for a long period of time that resonates in San Francisco, because they're yearning for it.
Well, thank you, Bob Melvin. You did not end up getting Ohtani. So we'll see what happens with Yamamoto. I know that Giants, as Jeff Young said, Giants are meeting with Yamamoto's people. We'll see how that goes, right? Blake Snell available. He's down there in San Diego, Cody Bellinger. So all familiar names, familiar faces as we see what unfolds with the Giants. Wanted to get into a conversation about Harrison Barnes, as it has, I don't know if broken is the right term, but Shams wrote a piece earlier today saying that the Kings, or naming the Kings as one of the teams that are expected to pursue Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby, as well as the Hawks and the Indiana Pacers. And speaking of the 209, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation, the 209 says if they let go, or if you move Keegan now, we'll be complaining 18 months from now like Halliburton. I think that's a good point. I think that's something that actually could be a thing, right? And if you're the Kings, you can't necessarily be in that situation again, right? Now, I think that one would probably argue, I don't know, I think it's close, but I think one would probably argue Halliburton had maybe shown a little bit more than Keegan when they decided to move him, right? So I think it's going to come down to the wire, but I also just don't think that you can get this deal done without Keegan Murray. I don't think it happens. What do you think, Simone?
I'm with you. Sorry.
There you go. Simone's doing a lot. Simone, the phone lines are blowing up. Simone is doing a great job. She has been. And I was just throwing to her. And by the way, Simone is already somebody's dog of the day. That's coming up at 1:30 to get your dogs in as well. And we're going to talk a little bit of high school football with some teams in the area that were able to get it done. And one team near and dear to my heart that was not able to get it done. Talking Kings, are we being too hard on Harrison Barnes? Now, Harrison Barnes, if you really do think about him as a fifth option, right? If you think about Harrison Barnes as a fifth option and what he brings to the table, somebody brought up what his stats were with the Warriors, right? They were actually pretty similar. So if you think about Harrison Barnes, I think in our minds we think of him as the fourth option. But if you go around that starting five, he's really more like the fifth. So are we being a little bit too hard on him? 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Luce, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Luce? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Now, you know you don't call me Luce.
Mom. Is that...
Yes, it's me. It's me. It's tu madre. It's tu madre. I'm just calling to say you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank
I'm proud
you.
of you. there was a question last week about the whole Mother's Day thing. Yes, I celebrate both. You know, I'm an immigrant, you know, got roots where I got my roots, but I live here now. So, of course, I get both, you know, so why not? Best of both worlds. And then I've been listening the whole time, and Don says, here's the thing. As far as leaving reviews, claro que sí, of course. Because I come from a world where it's all about best practices, you know? Y también, like I've always told you, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So, yeah, you have to make a stand. And they need to know. You're not here to degrade or whatever. You're actually trying to help them. And like you said, mijo, hard-earned money. We immigrants, we know what it means to have hard-earned money. And we don't just throw our money anywhere. So anyway, that's it. He dicho. I've said what I had to say.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk soon. All right, she's gone. There you go. Stiles and Watkins again. Chris Watkins missing a heck of a show going on with my mother calling in to support. Now you know where I get it from, right? If to the initial 916, now you know where I get it from. It's not about anybody losing their job or anything like that, but you spend your hard-earned money, you want to make sure that you're in a good situation. Simone is just cracking up.
I'm dying. We were speaking Spanish too. Oh, it's nice. That was really nice.
Are you fluent?
What a treat. No.
You know enough.
I know enough. I can get by.
Wow.
What a treat. What a day.
What a day. No, seriously, what a day.
Mijo.
She was ready to go. She was not shy, by the way. She was ready to go. And just to take it back to it right now, here you go. 76%. 76%. We're at 50 votes right now on the YouTube chat. The SAC chat, I should say. Do you look at reviews before going to a restaurant? 76% said yes. 24%, like Simone, says, no, I love the surprise.
Yeah. There's been a lot of great points. I've been reading the YouTube comments too. And, you know, we live in a world where we are dependent on reviews. So I'm trying not to be contradictory and bad. I'm just saying I'm just not compelled to leave it's typically bad reviews that get up there. I'm not compelled to leave a bad review, even if I had a bad experience. I don't know. I think that that's really skews the statistics of whatever product or service.
Well, you know what?
Receiving.
I already convinced you on the audiobook thing.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, you're a flip-flopper.
Yeah, I'm getting there. No, I can be persuaded. I'm not just going to be, you know, rooted in something to no end. I will hear
both
different
sides.
opinions.
You'll hear both sides. From the 925, Mama Luce for the win. Call of the day. That is from Tyler.
Call of the day.
That is definitely the call of the day. And we have, I guess, the audio of the day, because if everybody remembers, Steve Kerr had some things to say when the Suns played the Warriors in Phoenix. And Steve Kerr had a sound. Or Simone, we can play the initial sound.
Yeah, let's
first.
play the raw footage first of just Steve Kerr, and then we'll play that second sound.
Steve Kerr was complaining about how he couldn't hear anything, and the Suns they had some fun with it.
You feel it. It's the communication. It's playing with force. It's playing downhill. It's playing with great communication. You can hear everybody, you know, talking defensively. Although in this building you can't hear anything because it's like a club. It's like a South Beach club out there. What are we doing? I'm being dead serious. Like, I couldn't hear anything out there. It's just the whole game. It's just this thumping techno club music. Can we just have a basketball game anymore? What the hell?
So are we ready for the remix now?
Yes. So
Let's get the remix.
So the Suns DJ took that sound piece when they were playing, or were they playing the Warriors? No, they just took it. I think he just took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been against the Kings, honestly, because the Kings were just there. It was against the Kings. Yeah. So without further ado.
You know what? In this building, you can't hear anything because it's like a club. It's like a South Beach club. It's just this thumping techno club music. Thumping techno club music, thumping, techno club music, thumping, techno club music.
That's just
So
outstanding.
iconic. So good.
Now,
So good.
Now, the question is, we've been talking a lot about how people feel, and obviously Russell Westbrook is a guy, you can't call him Westbrook. Do you think that Steve Kerr would find this funny? Because I believe the Warriors go to Phoenix tomorrow.
Yeah.
He
He's
has to
definitely
play
going to
it.
get a question. Yes, you must
You
play
have
it.
to play it. You got to stand on business. So that is great stuff. I would imagine that Steve Kerr would find some comedy. He might be laughing more if the Warriors were winning, but either way, it's hilarious. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, are there rules on who can talk trash and who can't? We'll talk about it from a long snapper's point of view. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
A holiday message from Jackson Hewitt.
'Twas the yikes before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, except Larry. See, the stockings weren't hung by the chimney with care, 'cause Larry's wallet was empty with no time to spare. So he went to Jackson Hewitt for a holiday loan, got money so fast he rejoiced and went home. Avoid the yikes before Christmas. Go to Jackson Hewitt before it's too late. Get up to $1,000 fast, minus the wait.
Early refund advance offered to eligible clients. Application required. Finance charge applies. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic #2 combo meal spreads cheer with a farm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Just Stiles today, as Watkins is enjoying a day off. He will be back tomorrow. A lot to fill him in on.
Yeah.
A lot to fill him in on, from Yelp reviews, from being shamed to being outed as a mama's boy with my mom calling in.
No one said you're a mama's boy. That was a lovely call. One of my favorite I've ever heard on the station.
Well, I'm glad. As Simone was, I think it was the 714's dog of the day. We're going to get into the dog segment quickly here. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to 10. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, 10? You are on Stiles and Watkins.
Hey, Stiles. Hope Watkins is having fun. Thanks, Simone. Hey, I want to throw out some cool 49er notable players recently. Frank Gore, Patrick Willis. These are guys that were really big when I started getting into football around like 2007. I know you mentioned the great, Jeff Garcia, Colin Kaepernick, Joe Montana earlier. So, yeah, that really got me going. Grew up in Sacramento, so all I saw was the red and gold. And really, I have nothing to talk about. Just want to throw those names out there, man. Enjoy you guys Monday, man.
No, thanks for the call, Tin. Yeah. And the question is, will Brock Purdy be put in that category? Now, I know it has to happen throughout a long period of time, but also does it really? I mean, Brock Purdy at this point will already have, I think, an era. If Brock Purdy, for whatever reason, stopped playing right now, I still think that the conversation about Brock Purdy, you would say, remember the Brock Purdy era and how good everything looked. Now, I think that the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl, okay? And that's because of a lot of reasons. Number one is how good that roster is, and they've looked the best, right? This whole idea of, oh, well, if the Eagles can make it ugly, can the Niners? Well, what if they can't? And that's what we saw in Philly. They couldn't make it ugly, and they couldn't make it ugly against the Cowboys. Now you have the Cowboys. This is the Cowboys' first good win on this stretch that they've been on with Dak, but we've already seen them. We have already seen them get blasted by the Niners. So I'm just not convinced by the Cowboys, and the AFC is just a mess. You got Patrick Mahomes, who basically drove 2 hours of our show today because he drove us down the Google reviews road, right? And Yelp, the Yelpers. And don't look, we got to confirm, Simone, because I don't know that we'll do crosstalk. So I'll have to ask Whitey and Draper tomorrow.
Yes.
About whether they Yelp or not. What are our guesses? My guess is that neither of them leave reviews. And if one of them does, it's Draper.
Really? I was going to go with Whitey on that one.
I don't think Whitey leaves reviews.
Very sweet reviews. Like he's not tearing anyone down or getting anyone's jobs.
No, Whitey, actually, people are getting on people for only leaving negative reviews. Whitey only lives positive reviews.
Yes, exactly.
Only positive reviews.
But I feel like they're both researching. I get a very research heavy, and they are going in with a game plan.
Right.
Wherever they're going.
So Whitey just came back from Japan.
Yes.
So Simone goes to Japan, and you just close your eyes and pick a hotel, pick a flight, and just go to random restaurants. That's what you do?
I mean, there is word of mouth. I would definitely go off of referrals, firstly. But yeah, I'm not going to not go to a delicious ramen spot that people have been telling me about because there's 5 whack reviews saying it didn't come out piping hot.
No.
You didn't like that?
No. That's not what we're doing. We as a Yelper Google review community, we are not that fickle. All right. Word of mouth always trumps Google reviews. Let me get that straight right now. Okay. And I've been doing the Alan Asks thing on social media, and I got, a barbecue spot off Allen Asks, and it was banging. So I'll always take word of mouth. Okay. I just had to say that. And we have also heard from word of mouth that somebody on the Niners, I'm curious how you feel about this, 916-339-1140. I know everything is good in Ninerville, and I get it. When you are at the top, you feel good. But you have DK Metcalf, who, when he scored in Dallas, right, and people are saying that he's been doing it all season. I know it blew up when he did it in Dallas, and he said, stand on business in sign language. And everybody thought that was really cool. So now, out of nowhere, Tabor Pepper, who, I'm going to be honest with you, the only time I see that man's name is on Twitter. I never hear his name. He's a long snapper for the Niners. I never hear his name when I'm watching a game. Nothing. I looked up. I tried to see, okay, is he maybe just a really good long snap? I can't even find any of that, right? He's on his maybe third, fourth team, something like that. And Tabor Pepper, I promise you, I only see him on Twitter. And he sits down in front of his camera, right, in front of his phone, and signs bleep around and find out. And that was directed at DK Metcalf. Niner fan, oh, you got dunked on, DK. Oh, man, you just got told by a long snapper on his phone after the game. That's right, DK. That's right. Really? A long snapper? Really, dude? I mean, I get you're in the NFL, so who am I to say who can't talk trash? I don't and people were saying he should have done it to his face. When would he even have that opportunity? He's a long snapper. He's not even near DK. Now I saw he goes 6'4.5", right? I don't know how, if he's yoked or not, but DK is a monster. Okay? And honestly, DK's temper doesn't seem to be the greatest in the world. I don't know if that's who you want to mess with, but it's all good when you do it after a game. That reminds me, and wow, this is how much I'm missing Chris. This reminds me of Luka, when Luka said what he said, when Luka said, everybody tough when they're up. So Tabor Pepper, okay, do it before the game and say, hey, DK, you're going to bleep around and find out. And then you stand on business, Tabor Pepper. Don't do it on your phone, okay, after the game. And I did see some Niner fans, good on them. I did see some Niner fans say, hey, man, that's kind of corny. It's kind of cringe there, Tabor. But I don't know. And maybe it's because DK got into it with the Niner fans or with the Niner team. Maybe that was part of it. But I don't know.
I'm seeing on the YouTube, this is unconfirmed.
Right.
Scooter916 says that DK did some sort of sign language after his touchdown yesterday. So he started this ASL battle.
DK did.
Yes.
Yeah, but DK had been doing it. It wasn't like a specific Niner thing.
I see what you're saying.
Look, we just talked about Halliburton doing the Dame Time celebration, and I think that was great. But Halliburton did it literally facing the Bucks.
Right.
And Halliburton just made a shot. So I get that there's just bad blood. It's divisional. It doesn't bother me that much. But the idea that, ooh, he just dunked on DK, it's a little bit funny to me. Did he really? I don't know. It was just kind of random. It's just kind of random. I'm seeing here on the Sack chat a lot of people saying that was because, let's see, Scooter is saying, did you see what DK did? Something towards Ward? Yeah, after his and Ward wasn't on the field. That's why Tabor did that. I still don't know what that has to do with Tabor, though. And I get it. You just stand up for your guys. It's funny. It's not a big deal. Everybody tough when they're up, even long snappers. So it was funny, but but at the same time, it's just for me the idea of, ooh, DK got told by a long snapper. All right. I guess. So got to get to a break. When we get back, we are going to do our dog segment, and also want to give a congrats to some of the high schools in the area that brought home state. You got one job. to bring home state. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Players know it's not just because you win more, it's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guest and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
Save big every day during Lowe's 25 Days of Deals. Save $100 on select Masterbuilt smokers for the grill enthusiast in your life. Plus, get up to 55% off select smart home gifts for everyone on your list. Order eligible in-stock items by 2 p.m. to get same-day delivery. Lowe's knows deals every day. Valid through 12/13 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Delivered by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Dell's holiday event is one of their biggest sales of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call. At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile. They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later. They leave the work area cleaner than they found it. And your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys. So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Just been Stiles today. Stiles and Simone taking you up to 2 p.m. Watkins will be back tomorrow. Been a fun show. Monday fun day, if you will. Yeah. Text line's been going crazy. Sac chat's been going crazy as usual. Call line's been going crazy as well. My mother called in. If you missed that, go ahead and check that out on YouTube when it drops because it was something else. It was something else. Right here, you have the 510. Simone, get Felicia Stiles on. Alan's more famous and talented sister, who is an actress. She is not, okay. More talented. All right, come on, 510. That's kind of messed up. She's not more talented. We're different. It's different. Wow. We do different things, okay? Also from the 510, long snapper sounds like a dish you would get at Red Lobster and write a Yelp review.
Yum.
That might be the one. That might be the text of the day.
Nice.
That might be the text of the day. And there you go. And everybody is curious on the Sac Chat about whether or not Chris Watkins not only leaves reviews, does he look at reviews? Let's get our bets in now for when we ask Chris tomorrow. I think Chris is on your side. I think Chris is with you and the 23% on YouTube.
Yeah.
He just goes.
Just
word of mouth / just goes.
I want to parlay this. So I want to say he doesn't leave a review. Mm-hmm. I think no. I need to not complicate this like Chris Watkins would. He's just going to go. He's just going to go and experience it. Word of mouth.
Part of it for me is I like looking at menus. So if you Google something, you see what it is before I even get to click on the menu. So it's just part of it. Everybody thinks I'm in a dark room.
I'm not taking people's reviews. Like, I definitely go research the menu, but I don't look at.
You don't care.
Yeah,
care.
I'm not looking up like, hey, the salmon by this person said it was whack. Like, I'm still ordering it. I'm still ordering the salmon.
I hear you. All right. Before we get to the dog segment, want to give a congrats to Folsom High, Woodland Christian, and Calusa for winning their state championship in football, right? That's the biggest thing you can do in high school. That is what movies are made of. And even, I sounded like Karl Anthony Towns right there. This is what movies are made of. And even though, right, the state championship, they didn't have that forever. It's not incredibly recent because I'm kind of dating myself. But when I got into high school, they kind of started bringing it in. So shout out to Folsom, Woodland Christian, and Calusa for winning their state title. And I do have something that kind of went in a bad direction here. As most of you know, I'm from the Bay Area, and I went to De La Salle, which is the famous high school for winning 151 games straight. De La Salle has been struggling lately. They don't have a problem getting to state. They have a problem winning state as they lose to Mission Viejo over the weekend. They've now lost, this is a bit ridiculous. It sounds like a LeBron James stat. They've now lost 6 straight state titles, and they are 7-9 all time. They still have the most, right? They still have the most, De La Salle does, with 7 state titles, but they've been 16 times, and they've lost the last 6 times to their counterparts in Southern California. So De La Salle, keep kicking. You'll get it. You'll get it taken care of. But congrats to Folsom, Woodland Christian, and Calusa for also getting it done. And Grant Union in Sacramento, unable to get the title. But congrats on a great season and even getting to the state championship. All right, let's go with dogs. We got a bonus dog, right? We still got to have 3 people, so Kyle is going to join us. Have a bonus dog. Simone, you've been on a roll since you are someone's dog for today. Who do you got for your dog?
We have a lot of injuries. We got a lot of people out. This was complicated.
Yes.
Navigating through this. We got Malik Monk.
Malik
He's
Monk
questionable.
is sick. He's questionable.
Colby Jones out. We still got Alex Len out. So with all that being said,
okay,
Sasha's been getting more comfortable. Starting to gain the trust of Mike Brown. I think that young man is going to get a new career high today.
Sasha,
16 points.
Doubling back on another career.
Another career high of 16 points.
Spicy.
And he's going to be off the porch and biting fools' ankles tonight.
Wow. Okay, I like it. Kyle, our celebrity dog picker.
Can I get the helmet like Bill Belichick on College Game Day on Saturday? Can we set that up?
We'll try.
All right. It's good to know that Malik Monk might not play because I might have gone with Malik Monk. And
I'm here to help.
Thank you, Simone. I would have totally been thrown off. So, you know what? Brooklyn is down a couple bigs, most notably Ben Simmons. Domantas Sabonis triple-double tonight. Domas is going to be my dog.
Yeah.
Domas is Kyle's dog. We are with that for sure. Let's see here. Manny Too Legit has Keegan. You start talking about moving. Now, here's the thing. Are we to the point? And if you haven't heard, if you're just now joining us, thank you for joining us. If you've been rocking with us, thank you for rocking with us. If you haven't heard, Shams Charania put out an article via The Athletic today confirming that the Kings are in the mix for OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam, one or the other.
And we do have our own report on SactownSports.com right now.
That's right. So go check that out as well as the Hawks and the Pacers. I know. Let's get into it more tomorrow with Chris Watkins. So that is why we are having this conversation. And Keegan Murray has been talked about because I don't personally think that a deal gets done without Keegan. He is probably the best in terms of age and realistic asset that the Kings have. So, that's going to get spicy. It's going to get dicey. So we will see what happens with that. So Keegan is going to go off tonight. And what does that help? Does that help the trade situation? Did that just help the Kings in general? Could go in a couple different ways. Personally, I am going to go with I'm going to go with I know I'm stalling here. I'm getting out, because it always happens. Do you just go the easy route or do you go a little bit tougher?
How spicy you want to be today, Stiles?
Well, you're talking about the bigs, Kyle, and you make a good point. And I've said him before, and I'm going to say him again. A game like today that nobody's really talking about, this could be the fifth option Harrison Barnes game. It could be. Everybody is all right. We got the Clippers coming up, right? A lot of big games coming up. This could be a game where HB goes, "Don't worry, guys. I'll take care of you." There you go. Harrison Barnes it was between Harrison and Trey Lyles, but I feel like I did Trey last week, so I'm gonna go Harrison Barnes.
I love it.
None of us went De'Aaron Fox. How about that?
Because it's too easy, I think.
I guess, but he did put up a career high in fourth quarter points in the last game, which I feel like we shouldn't take for granted.
No, yeah. Harrison, again, if you're looking at Harrison as that fifth option offensively, I do think that you look at things quite differently. Scooter916 also says, "My dog, Styles Files." I just said that. So Scooter916 has HB as well. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Styles and Watkins was just Styles, but Simone, you did an outstanding job.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. We will have Chris come back tomorrow, so that'll be great. Thank you to our guests, and they were all with us via the Folsom Lake Hotline, Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. You have the Drive Guys up next with Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper on location, getting you ready for Nets Kings. Until next time, until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor. Secure Future utilizes an indexed annuity tied to growth in the U.S. stock market, but without any risk.